are going to have a great day today.
Now, Amy Mark scores Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Let's take it from the top.
Oh, it's the Chris and Amy show, isn't it? We
You guys are not going to believe
You will not
this.
believe what happened. I'll tell you what happened. Before the show even started, our boss walked in here, opened the door, and said, please do not screw up today.
He did. He's always, I don't know why they're so concerned about us.
I know.
We're the midday show.
Yeah,
If there's any time to screw up, it's the midday show.
Well, it's fine.
And he's just like, whatever you guys do, everyone's worried about you.
Just
They're
stop.
pointing fingers. They're afraid.
Leave us alone, Mom.
Listen. We care about the people.
I just want to know.
We're
before
the
we start-
voice of St. Louis.
We are the voice of St. Louis. Before we really
Yeah.
start this show, I would just like to know if feel free to reach out to us on the voice message feature on the Odyssey app, AUDACY.
Yeah.
That's the app, or text us 314-436-7900. Is your boss in your business too much? Are they
Oh,
constantly coming by, checking on you,
All up in your
micromanaging, all of
business.
that? Give us an example. You don't have to tell us where you work. You don't have to tell us anything about
No.
yourself. We don't want you to get in trouble, but you can tell us.
Ask us, and we want to ask you too. Tell us if, like, right before, I don't know, you're gonna, like, seconds before you're going to give a presentation. Maybe seconds before you go in for surgery. You're about to do surgery. Does your boss walk in and go, whatever you do, just like don't
Don't mess this
mess this up.
Yeah, I mean, come on, So if that's your
really
life,
throws you off your game. It's like icing the kicker.
if that's your life, it's exactly what it is. It never works until it works.
Right.
Icing the kicker. 314-436-7900 is our phone number. We're streaming on pretty much every social media platform. Follow us on Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX. We have Instagram too. And you can watch the show live, but of course you can listen to the show live on the Odyssey app.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everybody will be talking about.
Well, there are a lot of city issues that are coming up today and are happening at the moment. But today, Mayor Tashara Jones will be in studio with us. We're going to talk about the police takeover potentially and the Rams settlement money and other things with the mayor. That'll happen at 11 o'clock.
And a lot going on in Washington, D.C., the ramifications of that rolling out across the country. Now, the Trump administration put a freeze on federal grants and loans across the country, but a federal judge temporarily blocked that freeze yesterday.
And SLU last night, big win over VCU. Also a big brawl in the stands.
What a brawl. This was 1980s Blues hockey stands, fans, multi-row brawl.
Or, and it was amongst opposing fans this time. It wasn't like in Boston.
Where they fight each other.
Yeah, in Boston, where the Bruins and Blues played. And you said that you saw fights like the Boston fans were punching each other in the face.
Yeah, and this was actually, I went to the Boston-Toronto Maple Leafs first round series back in 2019. So the Blues weren't even playing Boston yet. It wasn't even the Stanley Cup final. It was the first round. We saw 3 fights, multiple people get kicked out of the stands, and 3 cases of vomit within the first
cases. What do you mean, like 3 occurrences?
Yes.
You don't mean like 3 cases, not a unit of measurement.
No, not a unit of measurement. That's disgusting. 3 incidents, vomit incidents in the first period and a half. I mean, we left before the 3rd period because I said, I'm not staying for this. I am not going to try to leave the Garden, which, by the way, is very tight. And they have carpet on the stairs, which is very weird.
Boston Garden?
Yes, there was it's
a newer building, isn't it? Why would it be small?
Well, it's the TD Garden now.
Yeah.
It just felt cramped. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not used to the stairwell, maybe because it's in a big city. But the stairwell, the way it wasn't even like it wasn't a fire escape stairwell. It was, this is the main stairwell. This is how you get out. It reminded me of the arena. Remember how the arena was sloped and narrow? It felt like that, only with stairs. And there was a very low, dense carpet, which again made the vomit that much worse.
Do you know what? I was just, as you were talking about that, I was thinking about old buildings.
Yeah.
The older sports stadiums like the arena, for me, the older stadium would have been Busch 2, the one prior to this one. The one that was in the space right next to where the current Busch Stadium is. And I was trying to think about how did it feel tight? Like, was it really hard to get around because stadiums hadn't really evolved yet
Mm-hmm.
in those times
Mm-hmm.
where they were just packing people in. It was a very uncomfortable experience, but I cannot remember the old arena. I remember being in it,
Really?
but I don't remember how it felt to be
The
inside.
concourse, like, I felt like when you got out, maybe it wasn't the main concourse, but it was how you got to your seats. It was just a tight, sloped walkway, circular around the arena.
Okay.
A little claustrophobic.
Yeah, I don't remember it. What, they imploded that thing in the late 90s, right?
Mm-hmm. But at any rate, yeah, we as we mentioned in the 11 o'clock hour, Mayor Tashara Jones will be joining us. We've got a lot of questions for her. She also will be talking about the way the Rams settlement money will be distributed, as well as Governor Mike Kehoe saying that he still wants. He gave the State of the State address yesterday. He wants a state takeover of the St. Louis City Police. That it's not working. So Mayor Jones would like to talk about that as well.
I know what she's going to say, I think, when it comes to the police department, because she's been speaking out about it. She spoke in Jefferson City recently about it, trying to persuade lawmakers to not go this direction, which is where Governor Mike Kehoe wants to go. So I have a pretty good idea of what she's going to tell us specifically about this. And Amy, I am for whatever will help the city move forward. I don't really ultimately care who's in charge of what, as long as things look right, as long as things are going well. I get the feeling that some of the numbers we've been hearing about in terms of crime being down, people finally being prosecuted, that prosecutor's office hiring more people, the police department working to hire more officers. It's a challenge around the country to get people to want to be police, and the city has been working toward that. We had Chief Robert Tracy in here a few weeks ago telling us that they are constantly on the move in that direction. So it feels like things are trending in the right direction. I am uncomfortable. Again, I really don't care who's in charge as long as things are going smoothly or better or improving. But I do have a feeling of discomfort about taking control away from people who seem to be at the moment doing it right. It seems like it's moving in the right direction, and I don't know if I'm really on board with screwing with that momentum.
Yeah, I actually get what you're saying, because I go back and forth on this, Ranj. I really do. And also, I think process matters. It is a conservative viewpoint to advocate for local control. I think this situation, because of what you mentioned, that if there is momentum with crime going down, even the very fact that we have a circuit attorney who's prosecuting crimes is huge.
Made a big difference.
And it is going to take a very long time to dig out of that hole. Kim Gardner set the city so far back in not prosecuting crimes. And that word does spread, because what we know that data shows crime prevention is dependent on visible presence of police, immediacy of arrest or being caught, and certainty that you will be prosecuted. Note that I didn't put in there severity of the penalty. It's not so much the severity of the penalty. Now, granted, I'm not saying like you catch them, you slap them on the wrist and say, okay,
Right.
Go have a fun day. But I mean, you're in jail for a year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever it may be. Certainty that you're going to be prosecuted. And the city of St. Louis didn't have that. And that with Kim Gardner. And that, coupled with the shortage of police officers, did create just a disaster. So there is momentum in the right direction. I don't know, Ron, what will be the answer. We've talked about Detroit, but it's just a very, very different situation where they did declare bankruptcy and the state didn't take over. Well, let me reflect. The state took over and then put the city of Detroit in the hands of a
single individual,
like a businessman,
sort of a manager
lawyer
kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes, and he ran Detroit for almost 2 years. So they did take away the democratically elected leaders and said, you failed, we're bankrupt, we're putting the city of Detroit in the hands of this one guy who did turn Detroit around. The thing is, St. Louis has a windfall of money. St. Louis seemingly is starting to turn the ship around when it comes to crime. It's just, I get the frustration from Jefferson City because, Ranj, as you said, when simple things can't be done, like trash getting picked up or handling a snow situation, you don't have a lot of faith in that the city leaders are going to spend the money in a way that is generational, that is life-changing for the city of St. Louis. So I get both feelings.
And that's, I think, certainly one of the things I know we're going to talk about with her is this Rams money, which is one of the big topics here, and how it's going to be spent if 5 to 10 years from now we can look back on the money. And I get that not everything can be down the road projects, stuff that's going to pay off 10 years from now. There are some things that need to be handled right now. You know, there are certain things that you've got to pay for in the moment. But I do want to feel like 5 to 10 years from now that all that money that cities never get, you never get an influx of cash like that for nothing.
No.
Did we do something with it that we notice? Will we notice it in a few years? Will we be like, wow, they did something substantial with the Rams settlement money, and we can look to it and point at it and be proud of it?
Right. And that's why what I don't want, this is just a tiny microcosm. Maybe it's illustrative of frustration.
Yeah.
But we got $32 million in federal grants to put in the trolley in the loop.
Yeah.
It's been late. It destroyed the streets. Businesses had to shut had to close forever because it lost parking, because it was inconvenient. People didn't want to go down there. The trolley rarely works. It has very odd schedules, and it only goes from the loop to the History Museum, which, by the way, is one of the only pedestrian-friendly, very walkable stretches in St. Louis City and County put together. We're not the most walkable area in the country, right? Like, we talk about walking downtown, you can walk. You're not going to run into stores and restaurants and bars, but you did in the loop. You go to St. Louis County. I love, St. Louis County, but you got to drive everywhere. You're not walking to store after store, to restaurant. So again, the reason why I bring up the trolley, because to me it was such a waste of $32 million. Nobody uses it.
Well, it wasn't our money.
That's a federal money.
Yeah,
That's my point, is that, so now.
But we had to spend it on that.
We did, or we had to give it back.
Right.
So I'm just saying, between the trash not being picked up, potholes not being filled, snow not being plowed, and the trolley being a project, you can see why people are cynical that this $500 million might not be life-changing, which would be just devastating.
Check in with us on the Odyssey app. Leave us a voice message. There's a button that says send a message. You click on it, you record a message, and send it. And we would love to hear from you. Also, 314-436-7900. Amy Markscores, Chris Ranji, KMOX.
We go where you go. 1120 AM, 98.7 FM, KMOX.com.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Dave Glover for Universal Windows Direct. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free. No limit and no payments for 3 years. Restrictions apply. Have a price, they'll beat it. Schedule your free in-home estimate today.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
A happy place comes in many colors. One that leaves you feeling refreshed. Something that gets you all fired up. Or gives you the space to chill. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro Painters and make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
At the Williams residence, everything looked kind of the same from the outside, but inside their lives just got way happier. 3 years of inflation and debt had crushed them, but for the first time, they had the cash to secure their retirement, pay off bills, and plan their future. They didn't win the lottery exactly. They did a genius financial strategy called the Sell and Stay program from Truehold. It's easy. Their home's value had rebounded greatly, so they quickly sold it to Truehold and banked all that equity in cash. But since they weren't ready to move, they could stay put with an easy, affordable lease. Truehold even paid their property taxes, home insurance, and essential home repairs. Truehold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a Truehold offer now while your home's value is high. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out after your home's value without having to move. That's Truehold.com.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
In the dynamic world of programmatic ad buying, Viant is your ultimate CTV partner. Target with precision. Buy with confidence. Viant empowers you with AI-driven technology that reaches your audience where they engage most, ensuring your message hits home. And the campaign results? Transparent, thanks to Viant's advanced measurement suite. For media buyers who demand the best, Viant delivers. Viant. Elevate your CTV campaign performance.
St. Louis's traffic and weather station. News Radio 1120, KMOX.
I'm humbled to be sitting here today as President Trump's nominee to oversee the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. I want to thank President Trump for entrusting me to deliver on his promise to make America healthy again.
That's Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who is the nominee to become the Health and HHS Secretary, Health and Human Services, whatever. This guy, I don't know. It's a really odd choice, but he is being heard right now. His confirmation hearing is happening as we speak. And of course, if we hear of anything really significant, truly significant that happens during this hearing, we'll let you know. My guess is he'll probably get confirmed. I think there's going to be very little pushback against. Well, I think
Murkowski, McConnell would all be expected.
Right. I think that they will. Republicans who are going to go against the current president they'll pick their spots. I don't think this is going to be one. I think Tulsi Gabbard might be one.
So Tulsi Gabbard is a huge one. So to me, Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, I think he got confirmed. I think it was one of the narrowest, or if not the narrowest, confirmation ever. I think he got confirmed because I do think, because of the nature of Donald Trump's selections, Republicans, like you said, had to pick their battles.
You can't.
Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr., to me, were the biggest ones, which is why it's a good thing that Matt Gaetz dropped out. You'd have to not confirm him, but also it could be the whole that's what, the art of the deal. He throws out crazy names so everyone else seems slightly more normal. I guess Pete Hegseth didn't seem as bad as Matt Gaetz, who paid for sex with 17-year-olds, but RFK Jr. is a big one. Yuval Levin of the American Enterprise Institute, really good. He wrote that Kennedy, as the director of the HHS, would have the authority to decide as secretary what is on the vaccine schedule that guides parents, pediatricians, and schools on vaccine requirements and recommendations for kids. He also would be able to pick members of advisory committees that make such decisions, and he could also overrule the committees if he desired. He also would have a very real power over the messaging of public health in America, which we already know he has spoken a lot about vaccines. By the way, a big reason why Mitch McConnell would be opposed to RFK Jr. is that Mitch McConnell had polio.
And he knows we don't want to bring it
and
back.
you don't want to bring polio back. I also wonder if they're going to ask him about his, quote, lust demons. Because in addition to
Right.
the dead bear that he threw in Central Park and the whale head that he put in the back of his car, his former wife found a thick journal that was filled with all of his sexual conquests, more than 24. He kept a detailed account in his diary, and then she committed suicide.
Yeah.
So really stand-up character, this guy, who, by the way, might be the most pro-choice person in America, who actually wanted what has been described as China-style abortion rights, where you can, 9 months, you're dilated, you change your mind, go ahead. This guy has been one of the most outspoken pro-choice figures in the country for decades.
I am a little more concerned with somebody who really seems to be enamored with alternative medicine. And I get it. There are a lot of people out there that don't like the medical field. There are legitimate complaints against the medical field and the way some things are done. But by and large, people are living longer lives because we have medicine. And I just don't know if I want somebody who doesn't really believe in medicine to be in charge of this.
And the thing is, I am 100% for asking questions. I've been burned by doctors. I've been burned by the medical field.
Everybody
I've also,
has.
yeah, been
but
helped.
I still trust
I've
the
been
field.
helped by the medical field. And let's say this, like, I'm glad we have the polio vaccine. I really am. You can still be like,
Yeah.
man, I struggled with COVID. I struggled with COVID and the COVID vaccine. That's fine. I get that. I feel that. But the measles and mumps and polio, those are life-saving vaccines, have saved so many people's lives, have been trusted for decades and decades. And I get that processed, ultra-processed food is bad.
Of course, that's not
100%.
wrong.
But
Yes.
just because someone has a right position on one thing or two things, it does not mean that they are right on all the key positions, and it doesn't mean that they're a good person.
My issue with the vaccine denialism stuff, when it comes to COVID in particular, is that the anti-vax rhetoric was so loud and there was so much of it that it caused people to not just distrust the COVID vaccine, but it caused them to distrust all of them. And if we're distrusting all of the vaccines like polio and hepatitis and everything else, that's not going to be good for us. One of the miracles of modern technology is vaccinations.
Yeah.
The fact that we have them and hundreds of thousands of people aren't dying from a preventable disease, whatever the disease is, pick one, there are a bunch of them. The fact that we have the technology to beat that is incredible because people just used to die and that was it.
Like you said, we're not saying there aren't issues that need to be addressed 100%, but you don't want somebody who is, as someone once described it, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, who was selected only to make sure he wasn't a spoiler in the presidential election.
Look, we're really trying to get a grasp on artificial intelligence, and the last couple of days, the markets have been volatile. Things have happened. People have lost money. We're going to talk to Gregory Zuckerman, special writer at the Wall Street Journal. Will talk to us about DeepSeek, the new technology. That is next on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
When we started Neovitamin back in 2009, we wanted to create a multivitamin that we would take ourselves. That's why we use quality ingredients in our Neovitamin Original Formula multivitamin. With over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our physician-formulated proprietary blend, you can be sure you are getting the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovitamin Original Formula multivitamin a try for yourself. Find it at your local Schnucks, Deerbergs, and online at neovitan.com.
SSM Health welcomes the St. Louis Golf Expo, January 31st through February 2nd at the St. Charles Convention Center. Buy big brands with Pro-Am Golf, test drive PXG in the simulator, and savor beer and cocktails. Get free golf, free balls, and special offers while they last. Get tickets and info at stogolfexpo.com.
Do you want to kickstart planning for your retirement this year? I know the quick and easy way to do this. It's a 3-hour adult education class. It's called Retirement Planning 101. It's almost like getting the Cliff Notes, right? On how you could make your money go a lot further in retirement. Hi, it's Sue Thomas. And this is a one-night class. It's taught by a fiduciary advisor from financial and tax architects with decades of financial planning experience. Now, they hold these at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis. You're going to learn about IRA and 401k withdrawals, tax saving strategies, Roth conversions, Social Security, and more. And there's no cost. Just bring 3 canned goods for the St. Louis Crisis Nursery. Now, there are still openings for classes this month and next. So call 314-947-2012, 314-947-2012. That's 314-947-2012.
At 10:30, we have sunny skies, 46 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. It's not your imagination. Childcare is taking a bigger than ever bite out of your paycheck. Here's CBS's Vicki Barker.
The Department of Health and Human Services says 7% of family income is the benchmark for affordable child care. But the latest figures from online agency care.com show parents are spending 22% of their household income on child care costs, more than 3 times that threshold. What's the answer? 87% of the parents polled want to see expanded tax credits for care expenses. 79% think employers should offer subsidized child care. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
Tax season is underway. The IRS expects 140 million people will file their returns by April 15th. If you file your tax return electronically, the IRS says it should take 21 days or fewer to receive your refund. If you choose to receive that refund with direct deposit, the agency says it should take even less time. The forecast for today, mostly sunny, another mild day, a high 54 degrees. Clear early tonight, then increasing clouds overnight with a low of 36. And then tomorrow we could see periods of rain. It will be a little cooler, a high around 47. Right now, 46 in Florissant and downtown at the Arch, 45 degrees in St. Peter's. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Hey, Jimmy Fallon here with a quick listening tip for you. If you miss Fox Across America or any of your other Fox News favorites, do not worry. I got you covered. You can stream previously aired shows with Rewind, available exclusively on the free Odyssey app. So if you're busy work days, it doesn't mean you have to miss out on the news. Listen to your Fox shows on your time with Odyssey. To get started, just download the free Odyssey app and search for Fox News Radio. That's Odyssey, Audacy. I'm spelling it out in case you're a little slow like me.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or CVS. That's newnordicusa.com.
Discover true luxury at Missouri's first and only standalone Genesis dealership, Genesis of St. Charles. Thank you for making us the #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2024. True luxury isn't just built, it's engineered with precision and passion. Explore amazing cutting-edge technology, redefined elegance, and exhilarating performance in the new 25 GV80. A new level of luxury awaits you at Genesis of St. Charles. Visit us in-store or shop genesisofstcharles.com. Based on GMA sales records.
Bernie Nicholas gets the final word during sports on a Sunday morning. Hear what he has to say on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
It is the Chris and Amy show on KMOX, and it is time to go to the guest line today. And Amy and I have tried very, very hard to understand artificial intelligence. We are...
We're getting in. I think we're catching on.
We are. Well,
to be honest,
we will have it figured out in 20 years.
Yeah.
So there have been a lot of changes over the last couple of days. The market appears to have been disrupted. To help us try to gain an understanding on what is going on and everything around it, Gregory Zuckerman with the Wall Street Journal, special writer there, joins us now on KMOX. Gregory, we appreciate your time. How are you?
I'm great. Great to be here as well.
So the environment has changed quite a bit because OpenAI was the thing that we had all been talking about for, I guess, a year or so now. But now there is this Chinese company called DeepSeek. We heard earlier today that Alibaba has its own that is, they say, better than DeepSeek. So what in the world is going on right now?
Yeah, it's pretty confusing, and we too are trying to understand it all. I mean, listen, AI isn't necessarily new. People have been experimenting and using it, and just basically having computers and models and programs do the kinds of work that we all do and think for us even, and maybe even improve on our actions. And it's been going on for decades, but we're gotten to the point where we've got these, what they call LLMs, large language models, which can really do a lot of the jobs, the queries and other kind of work for us. So the question was, well, how much are we spending on all this, and what are we going to make from it all? And companies, Google and Meta and everybody else, Apple, they're throwing billions, tens of billions of dollars, and the assumption was you needed to. And then along comes this new company, as you had suggested, the Chinese, which I've written about a little bit, DeepSeek, and they say actually we created a model for just a few $1 million. So it's upending all the understandings.
Yeah, let's get into that first. When a company like DeepSeek said, well, we did it for much, much cheaper and it's much, much better, I feel like that's an immediate red flag. That's just usually not how things work. So are we suspicious about how they got that information, that technology? Are there questions about that?
Many, yeah. Plus, they're Chinese. You have to make that clear, front and center. I mean, Chinese companies are notorious for somehow getting our IP, our intellectual property in the West, and using it. And they haven't been known for their own innovations. Now, that's another reason why this is so fascinating. We may be at the point where Chinese companies, be it technology companies or others like, biotech companies, are going to come up with their own advances, world-breaking advances. I mean, listen, you see TikTok, you see others, companies, you had mentioned Alibaba, others that are groundbreaking, remarkable, impressive companies, and now this new one may be joining them. So yes, there are reasons for questions.
I think a lot of people are very confused by what is going on now with the entire landscape. And I've read, and I don't know if these are credible people, but there have been a lot of people speculating that they are actually either stealing or getting technology from OpenAI, that it's sort of under the table. Do you know anything about that? Does that sound realistic?
You know what? I'm not a tech reporter necessarily. I'm more of a financial reporter. I've written about this whole story because the founder of DeepSeek, his hero, the guy who inspired him and taught him, is a guy named Jim Simons. And I wrote a book about Jim Simons, and that's sort of my connection. But to your question, to your query, yes, I don't know if it's necessarily a worry about Sam Altman and OpenAI they're stealing from, but you do wonder, they have built their models on others, but the work of others. But I have to make it clear also, OpenAI and all these other models built their models on the writing of Greg Zuckerman and others at Wall Street Journal, New York Times, other kinds of places too. And they were scolded for that too. So, two can play this game.
Yeah. You mentioned the founder of DeepSeek, or the creator of DeepSeek, and how initially, something of a prodigy. He was inspired, as you mentioned, by Jim Simons, the hedge fund manager, the father of quantitative investing. Would it make sense that a guy who's focused, at least initially, his projects were focused on the stock market, would then shift to something as broad and encompassing as DeepSeek?
It's a really good question, and we're struggling with that too, and trying to understand it. It's a little bit like I'm here in New York, a little bit like Steve Cohen, the owner of the Mets, who's also a trader, saying, you know what, in my spare time, I'm going to work on some enormous breakthrough in technology or biotech or something, and voila, here you go, world. Here's what I've developed just by kind of a hobby on the side. It's a little bit like that because they are a trading firm. The founder of DeepSeek, Lian Wangfeng, he runs an investment firm, and then all of a sudden he's got his unit on the side which is DeepSeek, and lo and behold, they come up with this apparent revolution. So it is pretty remarkable because it's not like some tech company has unveiled a breakthrough AI model. It's an investment company that has.
Yeah, you questioned that a couple of days ago because we saw the market take a dive and NVIDIA lost a ton of money that most of us can't even fathom. It rebounded a bit yesterday. And, you know, you were asking that question openly. Did he just short these stocks? Is that what this is? Do you think that's part of what's going on?
Well, that's not why he's doing it, but it would be fascinating to one. I'm trying to get in touch with him. I'm been trying for the last few days. It's a Chinese holiday there. Maybe he's away. I've reached out to him. He doesn't want to talk. He takes after, again, this investor that I've written about named Jim Simons, who's notorious for being secretive. So it could be that Wang Feng is also secretive. But yeah, one does wonder if he's going to unveil this model that's going to upend the whole world technology. And yeah, all these stocks are going to get crushed. Then he should be short those stocks. His model should tell him to short it. Or is that insider trading? Or do Chinese companies even care about that stuff? There are a lot of open questions.
Yeah, right. I mean, the fact that he's upending the stock market, but his background was initially working in stocks and he happened to have this technological breakthrough seems odd. I mean, just on face value, you mentioned that you companies like NVIDIA or OpenAI, and the founder of DeepSeek, his team started building computing systems with NVIDIA graphics processing units in 2019, according to your story. And then in 2022, when OpenAI released ChatGPT, you mentioned that the High Flyer, which was one of DeepSeek's founders' first companies, was one of the few Chinese companies that had more than 10,000 NVIDIA's high-end chips. So can you put into context the significance that this company, or at least the founder, had already worked with NVIDIA and OpenAI?
Yeah, well, not OpenAI necessarily. I don't think they work together. But yes, he bought his hedge fund, High Flyer, was one of the few in China to buy so many of the NVIDIA chips. And, you know, as a country, we've been trying to crack down on the export of these really important semiconductor chips. So it kind of suggests that we haven't prevented it from going, these chips from going to competitors elsewhere in the world, for good or for bad. You can debate that. But yeah, there aren't many companies able, especially in China, who are able to amass so many of those chips. So there was a lot of foresight on his part. You got to give him credit.
Gregory Zuckerman of the Wall Street Journal with us here on KMOX. And a lot of people, as they watch this all unfold, are wondering, okay, what happens to the tech stocks that I've bought, if they happen to have any, or, you know, if they have any sort of investments in that, because we've seen the volatility over the last couple of days. In any long-term outlook that you feel like you have a good handle on what will happen here?
Well, I'm a reporter, so if I knew where the market was going, I would be trading and investing and making a lot of money. I do have to say, it does raise questions because we've been spending, as a society, just so much money on preparing for AI and investing in AI, and that's our future. We're devoting tens of billions of dollars. All these big companies are, and the assumption is, well, the question we've always had is, well, when's the payoff? Where's the payoff? And they've said, yeah, down the road, there's going to be more efficiencies and breakthroughs and new drug advances, et cetera. But if you can get all that cheaply, which is what Wang Feng and seems to have done at his company there at DeepSeek, on the one hand, it could be good for society. Hey, we don't have to spend so much, but also could crush these tech companies who've been charging an arm and a leg, telling you, yeah, you got to get ready for AI, open up that wallet.
So do we know that DeepSeek's claims are true, that it's as good as it says it is? Or could we be looking at something that's somewhat adjacent to like the Elizabeth Holmes Theranos scam?
You know, people have made that comparison. I don't think it's an apt one because this is a model that people are using and are impressed by it. It's got some quirks and it's not necessarily as good or quite as good as some others, but it's close and it's a little different. It takes a little bit longer. You can see it thinking. So there's no Ponzi scheme there. There's no Elizabeth Holmes made up embellishment at all. What we don't know is how they built it. They say, oh, yeah, we spent $5 million to build this thing. That could be the embellishment. It could be $5 billion. It could be $50 billion. The government could be behind them, the Chinese government. Who knows about that? And that's why those stocks, the whole tech market has collapsed or got crushed because of that question of how much do I really need to spend. But the model itself is an impressive one.
How worried are investors, the big time investors, those that have a lot of money in this area?
Well, listen, we're at a point where stocks have been going up every year last few years, especially tech stocks and especially the biggest tech stocks. So they're at expensive levels. They're not quite at like 1999 before the internet bubble burst levels, but they're expensive. So people come into this thing already quite nervous.
You mentioned earlier, you emphasized the fact that this is a Chinese-owned company. And it was interesting, David French of the New York Times, a lawyer, was discussing the TikTok case in the Supreme Court. And he said, this really could be the first big case in the new Cold War. And when you look at our geopolitical adversaries, most notably China, and what that means, and knowing how controlling content, not just creating it, but having the ability to diminish and amplify topics for political agendas is a huge national security risk. Do you see this DeepSeek as a next step in a Cold War? Would you agree with that comparison?
I don't want to say necessarily that DeepSeek is part of it, but there is a Cold War going on. And these companies, be it TikTok or others, I don't know the role that DeepSeek plays in that, frankly, yet. But you do see on TikTok so much of content that's being amplified that is trying to undermine the West, for sure, or undermine allies of the West, Israel, for example. I mean, the criticism that Israel has come under has been amplified by TikTok, and there's been evidence and data to show that. And that's an effort, seemingly, I'm no expert, but that seems like an effort from everything I've read and all our experts at the Wall Street Journal, seemingly an effort by China to cause a little so unrest in the West, to cause maybe a dissension between our allies and us. So, yeah, this could be one more step there, but it also could be just sort of a sign of China's maturity as a tech and innovation center. So that could be as well.
Gregory Zuckerman, we appreciate your time. Thank you for talking with us today on this topic. I think we have a little bit of a better understanding, but we might have to have another couple of hours of conversation to really get it. Because, again, we don't know what we're talking about. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right. Gregory Zuckerman.
Have a great day.
Thank you, too. Gregory Zuckerman with the Wall Street Journal. It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Being first in line can be very important to homeowners. First in line for the plumber, first in line for the HVAC guy, first in line for Banner Construction. It's Banner Construction's winter home event, and you can be first in line this spring and save before the annual price increases. Banner Construction is a James Hardy and Pella Winter replacement specialist, and now is the best time to schedule a free in-home consultation with no obligation. Call 314-569-1050 or see them online and have a banner day.
What was my first impression when I walked in? Wow.
It makes me feel like I matter. They've just done everything in their power to make me feel welcome and cared for.
I feel like I can go forward because now I'm in good health.
I have a doctor who really cares and is truly interested in helping me live my best life.
Ready to upgrade your primary care in St. Louis? Visit archwellhealth.com. or call 314-668-2173 to join now during Medicare open enrollment.
Don't miss American rock, R&B, and soul singing legend Daryl Hall. With special guest Glenn Tilbrook. Coming to Stiefel Theater March 30th, and KMOX has your chance to win a pair of tickets to see the show. Daryl Hall, March 30th at Stiefel Theater. Register now on KMOX.com/contests for your chance to win.
Custom Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will.
How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com. Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
We can get more sleep, we can get more sun, and we can get more exercise. But the one thing that we can't get more of is time. It's time to eliminate the one phrase that could be holding you back from reaching your retirement goals. I'll take care of it tomorrow. It's time to pick up the phone and make the call to Gary Goldberg and the team at Financial and Tax Strategies. 618-361-4232 or online at checkwithgary.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Centaurus Financial Inc., an SEC registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Gary Goldberg, NPN number 918615.
It seems every political administration has a different idea about taxes. No matter where you stand politically, you should know how the new tax proposals from the Trump administration could affect you and your retirement savings. The good news is Steve All and the team at the All Financial Group are here to help. Join us for the upcoming educational seminar Thursday, February 20th or Tuesday, the 25th at Twisted Tree. You'll learn about the proposed tax changes from the Trump administration and how these changes could affect your retirement and your retirement income. That's February 20th or the 25th at Twisted Tree. Reserve your spot by calling 636-230-8824. Again, 636-230-8824 or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents nor representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Hi, my name is Christina Straight, the owner of Straight Realty, and I'm asking you, what do you want in a realtor? Do you want experience? I've been a broker for over 21 years. Do you want to know how much I've sold? I've sold over $500 million, yes, $1 billion with a B, in sales. Do you want value? I now list properties for only 2%. So if you're looking for all these things and want the best, then call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
I'm Roger Brand, and this is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
Get nervous, Amy. You know why?
Why?
My time for Banana Ball tickets is coming up. So I have an allotted time slot, which is coming up in a few minutes, and I'm just hoping they're not sold out yet. I've been talking to people.
So the earlier time slot, they did not.
They assign you randomly a time slot that you can log in and
they don't save a certain amount of tickets for each time slot.
Nope. They've told everybody that by the time your time rolls around,
you might not.
They might be gone already. So
that's disappointing.
I know. Hey, Amy, you know that you can listen to KMOX on your smart speaker at home if you have, the Google Home thing or Alexa or whatever. You just say, hey, Alexa, or whatever the thing is, the cue, play KMOX, and it will do it. Or, hey, Alexa, play Chris and Amy show, and it will play it. Well, did you see that according to Triton Digital, they have their podcast report for 2024. More than half of the podcast downloads on smart speakers have come from the news genre, like KMOX. So 52% of all smart speaker podcast downloads have come from a format like ours.
I wonder what percentage is us. 25
of that
30?
52%?
Yeah, 30%.
At least a third.
I would think at least a third are just the Chris and Amy show.
So,
which I think is rude of them to omit that detail.
I agree. They didn't put that in here, though. 52% of all smart speaker podcasts come from the news format. The next two largest challengers are really far behind. So kids and family stuff, which makes sense. That's 11%. True crime is at 8%.
I would have thought that was higher.
Me
better
too.
than true crime.
The news format is murdering true crime.
What
on the smart
what an
speakers.
irony. Well, you're never going to believe what's going on at all along the Gulf Coast. It's not weather related.
Okay, it's not weather related. I don't know.
It's happening at restaurants all over the Gulf Coast.
Oh, roaches?
Shrimp fraud.
What do you mean shrimp fraud?
Shrimp fraud, just like it sounds. So Gulf Coast restaurants, many of them, are serving imported or frozen shrimp, but telling customers that these are fresh crustaceans recently caught in the Gulf Coast.
So they're lying to us?
Yes. So
Who found this out? Gordon Ramsay?
I don't know if it's CD or Seed Consulting. It's a food safety technology company. It was testing shrimp randomly chosen from restaurants in Baton Rouge, Biloxi, Galveston, Tampa Bay, and they found a, quote, significant number of the restaurants were passing off their shrimp as locally sourced, even though they were grown on farms outside the United States. Foreign shrimp.
I am so mad.
The cities with the highest shrimp fraud rate were Tampa Bay, Florida,
Of course.
and St. Petersburg, Florida,
Of course.
at 96%.
Yep, that sounds right.
Only 2 of the 44 restaurants sampled were serving authentic shrimp from the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, wow.
96%
They're lying to us.
of shrimp
How dare
sold
they?
in St. Petersburg, Florida, and Tampa Bay is fraudulent shrimp.
Those liars. I hate
didn't
them.
even know shrimp fraud was a thing.
Amy, did you see that people in St. Louis County are receiving threatening phone calls for missing jury duty? But it turns out they are scams.
No.
You haven't heard about this?
No, I haven't.
It's not good. According to St. Louis County courts, if you're getting phone calls that say, hey, you missed jury duty, and if you don't give us a certain amount of money with a prepaid credit card, then you will be arrested. This
Wow.
is a scam. If
Yeah.
you get one of these phone calls, it is a scam. If you're wondering if you got some sort of, if you've missed a jury summons, you didn't know about it, you can call the St. Louis County courts and find out for yourself. But do not listen to these scammers.
Anything that has to do with jury duty or being arrested by the IRS or being arrested or your kid being arrested and then you need to pay bail money over the phone or Venmo.
Yeah.
It's a scam. That's not how the system
It
works.
does not work that way.
And this is it.
You
close
will be
to
notified
home.
if something happens with a jury summons or whatever. You'll be notified by mail. They're not going to call
No.
you.
And also, can we just say as a PSA, because this is hit, people I know very well, that the scammers sometimes have a very, very deceitful amount of detailed
And
information.
they'll have information about you that does
or
not
your kid.
right.
And you're like, how else would they know this? Don't believe it. That's just
Ignore
not
those.
how the
It's a
system
scam.
works. Yeah.
But check with the courts. If you think that this may have happened to you, you just want to double check and be safe, you can go ahead and call them and they will let you know for sure. Remember that time that I got the phone call from the tax agency saying that if I didn't pay my taxes, they literally said, we're going to call the cops. This sounds official. All right, we are expected to have a conversation with Mayor Tashara Jones. I believe it's getting pushed back to 11:15, but she will be with us coming up. Oh, it's 11:30 now.
11:30 now.
Okay, so she's joining us at 11:30.
Matt Pauley will join us next.
Okay, Matt Pauley is going to join us next. The mayor at 11:30 on KMOX.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
At David's Bridal, love is in every stitch. From the initial sketch to the final details, each style is designed with exquisite craftsmanship. Every wedding gown, bridesmaid look, prom dress, and special occasion style in between features handcrafted details filled with love. Come see the magic in person. Book an appointment and sign up for Diamond Loyalty to save 15% on your first purchase. Earn points towards special rewards and more at davidsbridal.com.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad. Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 10% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hi, I'm John Walsh here for Omega XL. Do you suffer from muscle pain and soreness due to overuse, daily activities, exercise, or aging like I do? Do you feel it in your back, your neck, knees, or joints? I know I did. I finally found a solution. It's Omega XL, a clinically proven natural drug-free supplement that helps relieve daily joint pain and muscle soreness. Omega XL delivers results you can feel. Made with a proprietary oil extract from green lip mussels, it's a powerful super oil with no fishy aftertaste, small and easy to swallow, and is 16 times more potent than standard fish oil. Omega XL has been trusted by millions for over 2 decades and is backed by 40 years of clinical research. Don't let joint aches prevent you from doing the things you love.
Call now for Omega XL's BOGO special, 800-598-4890. That's less than $20 a bottle. Remember, there's a 60-day money-back guarantee. Terms apply. 800-598-4890. 800-598-4890 or omegaxl.com/Walsh.
It's 11 o'clock in mid-America. We've got sunshine, 47 degrees downtown at the Arch.
CBS News special report. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. tells the Senate panel, considering his nomination to be health secretary, he's not anti-vaccine.
I've written many books on vaccines. My first book in 2014, the first line of it is, I am not anti-vaccine, and the last line is, I am not anti-vaccine.
Oregon's Ron Wyden is the top Democrat on the committee.
He has made it his life's work to sow doubt and discourage parents from getting their kids life-saving vaccines.
Doctors' groups have come out against the Kennedy nomination. His cousin, Caroline Kennedy, urged the Senate to reject him. Republican Mike Crapo, who chairs the committee, sounded ready to back him.
Mr. Kennedy, you represent a voice for an inspiring coalition of Americans who are deeply committed to improving the health and well-being of our nation.
CBS News special report. I'm Steve Kathan.
The nominee for Attorney General is headed towards Senate confirmation. Linda Kenyon from the White House.
The Senate Judiciary Committee has voted along party lines to pass the nomination of Pam Bondi out of committee and to the full Senate. While a time has not yet been set for the vote in the Republican-controlled Senate, Bondi's confirmation to serve as the nation's top law enforcement officer seems all but certain. She is the former Florida Attorney General and also served as President Trump's defense attorney during his first impeachment trial in his first term.
Some fire departments in St. Louis County are banding together for a new training center in Shrewsbury. Richmond Heights Fire Chief Phil Goody tells KMOX the purpose of staging fires.
They're enhancing their skills. They're learning new techniques. And it's confidence in the gear that they use, making sure that they know that the gear will handle the job that takes and the task and the environment that they're going to be working in, and the equipment that they use will stand up to that.
Goody says the hope is to be ready to break ground by fall. In his first ever State of the State address, Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe endorsed removing local control of the St. Louis City Police Department.
The current status quo in St. Louis is unacceptable. As the economic powerhouse of our state, we can't continue to let crime kill growth in the region and drive businesses and families to move outside of our state's borders. In St. Louis, we have one of the nation's top police chiefs in Chief Robert Tracy, and a tough-on-crime prosecutor in St. Louis Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore. And they could do even more if we give them the tools they need to continue their success.
Last year, a similar bill cleared the House but died in the Missouri Senate. From the state capitol,
Phil Brooks, KMOX News.
It's not your imagination. Childcare is taking a bigger than ever bite out of your paycheck.
Average weekly nanny cost $827, up 8%. Weekly daycare, $343, up nearly 7%. The online agency care.com says its latest annual survey shows many parents are locked in a downward financial spiral, cutting back spending on essentials, taking on extra work, or even stepping away from their careers just to afford care for their kids. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
The KMOX Business Desk. Not everybody is calling for a boycott.
Target's diversity, equity, and inclusion cuts have many calling for boycotts at the store, but Black entrepreneurs don't want that. They're telling customers to buy more and clear those store shelves. Owners of brands that the big box retailer once championed before it rolled back DEI efforts say any kind of a boycott would harm their brands and jeopardize their livelihoods. Kimberly Adams, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel's up 8 points to 44,858. Maintenance vehicle 6440 going east at Ballas in the right lane. There's a crash on 55 going north at Arsenal. The right lane is closed.
Sunny and mild with a high of 54 this afternoon. Skies will be clear early tonight, then clouds will increase with a low of 38. Cooler tomorrow with periods of rain and a high of 47. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zayer on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
47 in St. Peters, 47 in Florissant, 47 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Your home of the Cardinals.
Arenado swings and hits it deep to left field. That ball is out of here.
The Billikens.
Jumper. Yes! Billikens win!
The Chiefs.
Touchdown! Kansas City!
We are America's sports voice. KMOX.
Oh, we got an issue.
Yeah, we got an issue. I'm not sure.
Something's going up on in the crowd over behind the VCU bench. And the officials are going to let that get cleared out before they stop this timeout.
Right.
They don't like to see any problems in the stands.
There was some hacking and whacking and punching and kicking going on at the SLU game. Oh, yeah, by the way, they had a big win, too. They beat Virginia Commonwealth at Chaffetz Arena last night, so a good win for Billikens basketball.
I thought we were watching Blues hockey from the 1980s or something. I mean, I didn't know the Billikens had brawls. A Billiken brawl.
A Brawlican.
A Brawlican.
Yeah.
They had a St. Louis Brawlican.
So, by the way, Amy and I are going to be broadcasting live from the Billikens Grill on Friday.
The Grillican.
The Bill Grill from 10 to 1. Ahead of the big game against Dayton. They're playing Dayton on Friday night. That is a huge one for them, and it is the Blizzard game. It's where it's the whiteout game.
Yeah, the whiteout game.
So it's going to be fun.
Yeah, Dayton. Hey, is that something that you're not doing currently?
Correct. Usually, don't worry about what I'm doing. Usually, we talk to our next guest at 11:30 on Monday and Wednesday, but we are adjusting because we've got the mayor, Tashara Jones, who has had to push back a little bit. So she's with us at 11:30. But Matt Pauley joins the show now on KMOX. Hello, Matt.
Hello. So the mayor is as good at being on time as she is at getting trash and roads taken care of.
Really something to get off your chest, huh?
He's coming in with his own Brawlican.
This guy doesn't even live in the city. He's over here complaining.
I'm in the city every day. I am in the
don't
city
live
every
here.
day. And they take taxes out of my paycheck, so I feel like I can make that joke.
He is a taxpayer. You can't knock him that. He is a taxpayer in the city of St. Louis, and also he's not wrong.
That's true. So, hey, real quick,
yes.
I want to say this before we get to SLU basketball. Congratulations to me.
Oh.
I was able to purchase 4 Savannah Banana tickets.
Got him. Oh, wow. He got him, Matt.
Wow.
Yeah, I got in for Banana Ball on, I think the 5th, April 5th.
His time slot was 11 a.m., and he was refreshing the browser.
Let me just tell you how weird of a process. Like, I really appreciate that they are trying to keep scalpers out. They've done a really good job of that, but it is totally random. Everything is random. You didn't really get much of a choice as far as where you get to sit. And even when you buy the tickets, they tell you. So I have 4 tickets, and they say between section 361 and 372. That's it. Okay. So like I don't know where I'm at.
Did you have a chance to buy lower bowl tickets?
It gave me 2 options, and that was it. And I couldn't.
Interesting.
If there was a button for me to be able to change it, I don't know. I may have messed that part up, but I don't think so. I think that's as good as I was allowed. Yeah.
St. Louis was number one in terms of this tour on them one, and that's
The
good
demand.
because hopefully that means that they will come back because it is such a cool. I've never seen them live. I do not have tickets for this one, and the way things go, I don't think I'm going to find my way in. But at some point, I will see the Savannah Bananas, and I will love it.
What a remarkable story it is, Matt, that this minor league baseball team that was struggling, nobody cared about, is in such demand. They're going to multiple major league stadiums on this tour this summer. They're going to a couple of football stadiums, like Titan Stadium they're going to, for example. They'll be at Fenway. They're going to be in Baltimore, I think. They're at Sox Park. And they're selling these places out. This is really, it's crazy that they've been able to do this.
They're not just selling places out. They do these pre-sales, and they have multiples of beyond with the ticket availability of people who want to get in. It is, and this, people who don't know the history of this team started as a summer collegiate team. I think they were in the Coastal Plain League, if I remember correctly. And it was just a team where college kids, a lot of times college baseball players, we talk a lot about the league up north, whatever that, the famous summer collegiate league team, but there's summer collegiate leagues all over the country. And the Savannah Bananas started as one of those, and they started doing some wacky stuff for their home games. And then, so like actual baseball players would be doing some of this wacky stuff as games were being played. And eventually they left that league and became their own thing. So that way they could go all in on all the crazy rules. And they've got, the different traveling things that they do. But it is an incredible story of where this team was and who they are now. And I can't think of the guy's name who leads it.
Jesse Cole.
Just he is just a visionary when it comes to these things. So really a great American story right there.
Yeah, no, it is crazy. I mean, it's a marketing genius. I mean, you have to put Jesse Cole up there with the guy, I forgot his name, but he is the same guy that made Crocs cool again. He was also the guy that made the Stanley Cup the most coveted item in America last year, a couple of years ago. And it's this marketing genius that somehow you get it. You get what people want, even though I'm not sure if you did all of the research, Matt, and got all of this analysis and took polls that anybody would say before it existed that we want banana ball, that we want gimmicks. Because to me, if you pitched me banana ball, I would say sounds terrible. It would never work.
Yeah, the idea, outs with when a fan catches a ball and the dancing and everything, and sometimes people call it kind of the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. It is in the sense that it's fun and gimmicky, but it isn't in the sense of the extreme nature of the things that the Bananas do. And I think you're right. I think if you just put it down on paper before they exist, most people are saying, nah, this will never work.
All right, Matt Pauley, that game last night, really big one for SLU. They got a win against Virginia Commonwealth, and this is right before they have the game against Dayton on Friday. A big week for them. There was the brawl in the stands that happened behind the VCU bench. What a night at Chaffetz last night.
Yeah, that's a memorable night right there, and it's a fantastic win, and it gives you an idea of what this team can potentially be. They don't have a shot of being an at-large NCAA tournament team. So if they're going to get to the big dance this year, they're going to have to do it by winning the conference tournament, and you're going to have to go through teams like VCU to be able to do that. To lose at their place 2 weeks ago by a bunch and just really put a poor performance on the court, they've been on a really, they had like 4 straight games of not shooting well, especially this past weekend in a game that they could have won on the road. They didn't shoot well. For it all to come together, for there to be a pretty solid crowd, the craziness of the fight and everything. And that's a little bit disappointing too, because unfortunately that's
we're talking about
across
that.
The country are seeing, they see this thing happening in St. Louis, and that's the last thing we need right now. But it just goes into the night and how great of a night it was for the Billikens.
I'm just saying it's road rage that spilled into the arena, probably, maybe.
I mean, I had a few jokes on it. Somebody say something bad about Emo's Pizza or toasted ravioli. Did somebody say that the pep band is not the greatest pep band in the world? Like I don't know what led to it. But
the only thing that would get me going is if you said that we didn't have the best zoo in the world.
Oh, my
yeah,
gosh.
Yeah, that would
Or
would
if
do
you
it.
said
Which,
it's
by the
not
way,
even free. If you go, and it's not even
yeah,
free.
it's not the best zoo in the
Oh,
world, and you got to pay for
You got to
it.
punch that guy in the
What?
face. What?
No, there is a zoo job fair today. Did you know that?
I did
No.
not know that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can go
Well,
to the
why
zoo
didn't-
today.
I wish I had actually done
And
that.
there's a bunch of food service jobs, and they're looking, I think, for people younger and postgraduate, that kind of thing. So if you want a job at the zoo, you can go get one. Anyway.
It was right behind the VCU bench. They could have been arguing about whether or not you should call it a state or a commonwealth.
That's probably exactly it.
Yes.
Hey, any movement on Nolan Arenado? I was seeing yesterday that people in New York, they have a feeling that he might end up either with the Yankees or the Mets ultimately. And I'm watching Yankees fans and Mets fans, half of them be like, no, don't do it. And the other half being like, that would be a pretty good idea for us, actually.
Look, is there a possibility that the Yankees and Mets come back around on Nolan Arenado? Sure. I'm not closing that door. You asked if there's been any movement, and no, there's not been any movement. That nothing's going to happen at this point until Alex Bregman figures out where he's going, and it feels like every day I feel like it's more likely that he's going to end up back in Houston, but Boston is probably still the team that can offer the most amount of money. If he goes to Houston, that's probably good for the Cardinals because that re-engages the Red Sox, and Boston's probably the team that's out there that can cover the highest amount of salary that the Cardinals would like to have covered. If he ends up going, if Bregman ends up signing with the Red Sox, that resets things, and then maybe the Yankees and the Mets do get back involved, and maybe the Cardinals change what they want in return and how much salary they want picked up. But I've seen the same stuff that you've seen about Yankees and Mets, especially Yankees, about maybe they come back around on them. I think that's just people talking right now because it's very frustrating. Nothing is happening. And for many of us, it is our job to talk about these things. So when nothing's happening, all of a sudden, silly things start coming out of our mouths.
So I saw that yesterday the Cardinals let go of Victor Santos. It was a minor league thing. And the other guy he was part of the Tyler O'Neill deal. And the other guy, Nick Robertson, also had been let go by the Cardinals, I think, in the middle of last year. So, you kind of look at that deal, and they didn't really end up getting much for Tyler O'Neill. Dylan Carlson is now with the Baltimore Orioles. Just should we care much about what happens with some of the Cardinals that are no longer here? Does it mean anything if they go on to succeed? Does it mean anything if we haven't gotten much in return? In return, how do you look at all of it?
Yeah, we make too much of it generally. The Dylan Carlson thing last year, the pitcher that they got for him, they released before the season even ended. But then, Carlson was non-tendered at the end of the year, and he becomes a free agent. So neither team has those pieces. The Tyler O'Neill thing. He had an okay season, but he's on a new team now, as you alluded to, and the Cardinals don't have any of the pieces from that trade. Look, there's legitimate frustration when you move on from a player and they have really big moments or a really big season for another team, and that's happened a lot with former Cardinals here recently. O'Neill was fine this past season, but he didn't have this amazing year. He dealt with some injuries like he always does. Carlson was essentially the same guy with Tampa that he was with the Cardinals, and that's why he ended up getting non-tendered. So I think it's different when you look at like Randy Arozarena and see what he's done and compare that to what a Tyler O'Neill or a Dylan Carlson might do.
All right, Matt Pauley, as we are getting ready for spring training, when did you say you were leaving again?
Let's see, 2 Mondays.
Right after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the day after the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So you're not going to have me that day because I'm going to be in flight during my scheduled time.
In flight.
They've got Wi-Fi.
Just ask the mayor to come and be on that segment.
Well, the mayor's coming in with us soon.
Okay.
So
you are going to be on your way to spring training. And
to
so
Florida.
What we can do is we can ask ChatGPT to be you and say, hey, give us answers that Matt Pauley would give us.
I wonder how good.
That'd be interesting.
How good do you think ChatGPT would be good at doing that?
Well, the only
recreating
reason why
Matt
we'd
Pauley?
have a chance, is because Matt Pauley is out there right? Like
Mhm.
you've got from the Gas House Gang to Sports Open Line. There's
Yeah.
audio out there.
Yeah.
Can ChatGPT pull from audio, or are they just
But
pulling
would it
from
would it
written
get the
content?
vibe? Would it get the Pauly vibe?
I think we'd have to describe the vibe.
Okay. Well,
How would you describe that vibe, baby?
let's not do
I
that
don't
right
think
now. We need to.
this
Yeah,
is not
this is
the
not the time.
This is unbelievable, Matt.
Matt Pauly, host of Sports Open Line tonight. You have a full show.
I do.
6 to 8 o'clock.
Yes.
You planned yet?
Not really.
Not
We
really.
got a
Come
few
on.
things. Isaac Bruce is going to be on tonight.
Isaac Bruce. Oh, we should also
Yes.
mention
Oh my gosh.
that tomorrow Kurt Warner is going to be on the show because I'm assuming you have Isaac Bruce on because the anniversary of the Greatest Show on Turf Super Bowl is tomorrow.
Yes, 25th anniversary. So great to be able to talk with him. You'll hear that tonight.
Thank you, Matt Pauly.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. We will have tomorrow. Kurt Warner is joining the show. 25 years since the Rams won the Super Bowl. That anniversary is tomorrow. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Lifestyles Unlimited member Lisa appreciates having mentors who have her back.
Having the faith to move forward, and y'all have everything provided. I could call a mentor and say, hey, I don't know what to do. Someone is always there to guide you. I have backup.
Lifestyles Unlimited. Over 33 years teaching the real estate retirement roadmap. Text the word radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007. Join now for $297, a 60% savings. Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Do you want to kickstart planning for your retirement this year? I know the quick and easy way to do this. It's a 3-hour adult education class. It's called Retirement Planning 101. It's almost like getting the Cliff Notes, right? On how you could make your money go a lot further in retirement. Hi, it's Sue Thomas. And this is a one-night class. It's taught by a fiduciary advisor from financial and tax architects with decades of financial planning experience. Now, they hold these at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis. You're going to learn about IRA and 401k withdrawals, tax saving strategies, Roth conversions, Social Security, and more. And there's no cost. Just bring 3 canned goods for the St. Louis Crisis Nursery. Now, there are still openings for classes this month and next. So call 314-947-2012, 314-947-2012. That's 314-947-2012.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
At David's Bridal, love is in every stitch. From the initial sketch to the final details, each style is designed with exquisite craftsmanship. Every wedding gown, bridesmaid look, prom dress, and special occasion style in between features handcrafted details filled with love. Come see the magic in person. Book an appointment and sign up for Diamond Loyalty to save 15% on your first purchase. Earn points towards special rewards and more at davidsbridal.com.
Locally focused, nationally trusted. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
We've got Golf Expo tickets to
we
give
do.
away.
The St.
We're not
Louis
doing
Golf
it.
Expo.
That's right. We're not doing it right now. So, calm down. At the St. Charles Convention Center, it starts on Friday, goes from Friday to Sunday. And we have a pair of tickets to give away for that. We will do it before the show is over. So you have to be listening for your chance to win.
So be careful, too, because we'll have to give you the contest line number, not the regular line, not the call and text line. Also, we want to let you know, I guess, Ronj, after the brawl at the SLU game, they're like, we need to, for the next game, we need to get Chris and Amy here.
Yeah. So we'll be there.
We'll be there on Friday. I think they just want us to keep an eye on things. I think we're a calming presence.
Yeah, that's it. We're going to be at the Billikens Grill from 10 until 1, and that will be on, again, Friday, the day of the game against Dayton, which is a 6 o'clock game here on KMOX. So come down and see us. We expect to be talking with a number of the St. Louis University's finest folks. That will be from 10 until 1 at the Billikens Grill. I call it the Bill Grill. Amy has a different word for it.
The Grillican.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Real quick on the Banana Ball tickets, I was able to acquire 4 Banana Ball tickets. They're coming. The Savannah Bananas are coming to Busch Stadium April 4th and 5th. And tickets are really tough to come by. This texter wants to know who the Savannah Bananas are playing in that game.
Great question.
Do they bring a team to play with them against every time? They are playing against the Party Animals.
Oh, from where?
I don't know.
From Party City?
They're called. That doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, that's right. They went out of business.
They went out of business. So the Party Animals will be who they play.
Why does it just say the Party Animals?
I don't know.
Don't they have to be from somewhere? Like the Duluth Party Animals?
It probably. I'll look it up in a second. This texter says, hey, Chris, get 4 tickets to Banana Ball when it's your turn. I will pay if we double with the sisters. Those two sound like they might be bananas, and they would make for a great time in
I
Story.
think that's actually a very nice connection.
I don't think they're going to come down here for that.
Hey, I was perusing the St. Louis Reddit thread, and someone on the St. Louis Reddit thread said, I asked ChatGPT to roast STL neighborhoods, to roast St. Louis neighborhoods. So, for instance, The Hill, and again, this is ChatGPT, was asked to
roast St. Louis neighborhoods.
Yeah, The Hill. A lovely place to eat Italian food and then pretend you care about bocce ball. Also, good luck finding parking while Nana takes 10 years loading groceries.
That's not nice. Who doesn't like bocce ball?
The Central West End. Bougie enough to have chandeliers on the sidewalks, but still a block away from someone stealing your catalytic converter.
That's not nice either.
That's what this one says. Let's see. Maplewood, technically a suburb, but hipsters and Target moms claim it's the coolest part of the city. You're not special because you shop at Schlafly. You don't shop at Schlafly.
See, this is why ChatGPT cannot be trusted.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence can't be trusted. Well, I think that we should really get into city-specific stuff. And, really, we're going to bear down on some things here, right? Amy Marks course.
We are.
Amy, Chris Ranji. When we come back, we are going to talk to the mayor of St. Louis. Tashara Jones is in studio with us. A lot to get into with her, including the potential state takeover of the police department, Rams settlement money, a lot of other things we'll talk about with the mayor next on KMOX.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions, so it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Heating costs are getting out of control, and experts say it's going to get even worse before spring.
This is Debbie Monterey for Window Nation. And if you want to save money, replace those cold, drafty windows with energy-efficient ones from Window Nation. Go to windownation.com now and you can save up to 50% off all window styles, plus get 0% interest and no payments for 2 years. But hurry, because the sale ends January 31st, so don't miss out. Schedule a free in-home consultation now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. You know, when you go to the Audiology Center, you'll see a doctor of audiology. And with us right now, Dr. Colleen Bosler. Dr. Bosler, what are some of the signs of hearing loss?
Well, it's a number of things. Sometimes loved ones notice a person asking others to repeat themselves, or the television is too loud. What people tend to notice first with hearing loss is the loss of clarity. They can hear people talking, but they cannot always understand what's being said. That's because the hearing loss can cause you to miss certain consonant sounds, and those consonant sounds give us the detail to the word. A hearing aid can help bring back those details and give you a sense of clarity that you're missing.
Dr. Colleen Bosler at the Audiology Center with 3 locations in the greater St. Louis area. Call for an appointment, 636-441-7470. Online, theaudiologycenterstl.com.
At 11:30, we have sunny skies, 49 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. Did the upstart Chinese tech company DeepSeek copy ChatGPT to make the artificial intelligence technology that shook Wall Street this week? That's what ChatGPT maker OpenAI is suggesting, along with the president's top AI advisor. Neither has disclosed specific evidence of intellectual property theft, but the comments could fuel a re-examination of some of the assumptions that led to a panic in the U.S. markets over DeepSeek's advancements. The forecast for today, it's going to be sunny and mild with a high of 54. Clear early tonight, then increasing clouds overnight, a low of 38. And we'll see periods of rain tomorrow. It will be cooler, a high around 47. Right now, sunny skies, 49 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
The Humane Society of Missouri's Day of Giving is just around the corner. On this day, your favorite local TV station will highlight incredible rescue stories of animals fighting to survive, stories of courage, resilience, and hope. Visit the Humane Society's website to watch these powerful stories and see the life-saving work made possible by compassionate donors like you. These stories underscore why it's so vital to support the HSMO. For more information, go to KMOX.com/events.
I'm Scott Jagow. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
The current status quo in St. Louis is unacceptable. As the economic powerhouse of our state, we can't continue to let crime kill growth in the region and drive businesses and families to move outside of our state's borders. In St. Louis, we have one of the nation's top police chiefs in Chief Robert Tracy, and a tough-on-crime prosecutor in St. Louis Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore. And they could do even more if we give them the tools they need to continue their success.
That is new Governor Mike Kehoe of the state of Missouri in the State of the State address happening yesterday. This is the Chris and Amy show on KMOX, and we do welcome in the mayor of St. Louis, Tashara Jones, who was kind enough to come in studio and talk with us for a little bit here. We appreciate your time, Mayor. How are you?
Thank you for having me. Great.
Well, yeah, thank you for coming in. You heard the governor on what he said, and this has been, he ran on this. This is a thing that he wants to do. He wants the state to reassume control of the police department. The city does not want to do that.
Right.
Why, in your opinion, is he wrong on this?
Well, first, I want to address his comments when he talked about the current status quo is unacceptable, and also remind him of who hired the police chief. I did. I want to know who the status quo is. A 42% reduction in homicides is not status quo. A 24% reduction in overall violent crime is not status quo. Billions of dollars in investment in our city over the last 4 years and into the foreseeable future is not status quo. No one who is sponsoring this bill can tell us how this is going to make St. Louis safer, how it's going to increase our population, how it's going to increase investment in St. Louis. All of those things are happening on the local level, and those are what I did.
Have you talked to the governor about this personally and how he feels about the situation?
I have been trying to get meetings with the governor. And the last time I talked to him was the day after he was elected in November.
And with as he said in this quote here that we just played, that he praised Chief Robert Tracy, he praised Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore, and then said that a state takeover would give the police the tools they need to continue to make progress. Do you know what tools he is referring to? What tools you feel that you've given them?
Well, for starters, the police have received 2 raises under my administration, the most recent one last week. We have tons of vehicles on back order, up to 50 new vehicles. They get the other equipment, the surveillance equipment and technology they need to do their jobs, because our clearance rates are up above the national average. Our clearance rates for crimes are up in the 70s as far as percentage wise, when the national average is 50%. So I want to know what tools they don't have that they currently need to do their jobs.
So where's the disconnect? The Ethical Society of Police had said they want the state to take over. Some officers individually, they want the state to take over. Why is there a disconnect there? Why does the police chief want to keep it in the city, but the rank and file do not?
Well, the police chief only knows governing under local control. This is his 4th city. He started in New York. He went to Chicago, Wilmington, and now St. Louis. This attempt is pure politics. It's driven by elected officials who don't live in the city, don't even have the city's zip code or area code. And it's funded by the people who funded the campaigns of the governor and those who are currently elected in office. No one can tell me how this is going to make our citizens safer.
The St. Louis Business Journal noted that from 2019 to 2022, downtown St. Louis lost approximately 500 businesses. And I understand that COVID also changed the algorithm for businesses. But that is a big number. And we have talked about this, that every city has crime. But also a city like Chicago that has crime has people. So it's like, where's Waldo? Waldo's on a crowded beach. And sometimes it feels like in St. Louis with the crime, Waldo's the only guy on the beach. And it shows up if you're walking around and streets aren't bustling all the time. So if crime is going down, how are you also going to get people here to move here, invest in downtown St. Louis, and believe crime is going down when people have experienced car break-ins or feeling unsafe?
Right. We realize that it takes time for perception to catch up with reality. But the reality is that St. Louis is a lot safer than it was 4 years ago when I became mayor, from the statistics that I just talked about at the top of the hour or top of our segment. And we are doing the work to attract businesses to St. Louis. I can talk about just $1 billion in announcement investments alone in November of 2024 alone. If St. Louis was so bad, then why are we constantly attracting businesses, and businesses downtown are renewing their lease to stay in the city and to stay in downtown?
There is a belief that in order for the city, and I'm not sure it's a belief, I think it's reality, that if the city is to, the downtown area specifically, if it's going to improve, there has to be outside investment. Clearly, the city itself can't just renovate all of these buildings and have people move in. So how do you attract businesses to want to be downtown? And again, realizing that there are challenges in cities around the country with, companies that are doing work from home, so they may not need the office space anymore. So how do you get them into the city?
Well, for starters, we've been working with our partners at Greater St. Louis Inc. and St. Louis Development Corporation, going around to industry conferences. Either I'll go, or SLDC or GSL will team up and go and put booths out to say St. Louis is open for business. We get a lot of people stopping by our booths when we do that, and we've been able to attract more businesses that way. We have to be out in those industry conventions and conferences, letting people know that A, we exist, B, that we're open for business, and C, that we are addressing crime. And St. Louis is a lot safer than it was. We're back to pre-pandemic levels in crime, back to lower than 2013.
Yeah, you were at a conference right around the time the snowstorm came in, and you took some criticism for not being here when that happened. And then there's criticism of the amount of trips you've taken in this regard. Are those criticisms fair or not?
I don't believe they're fair because number one, I pay for them myself. They're on my own dime. And number two, which part are people mad at? The billions of dollars that I've been able to bring back to the city in federal and philanthropic investment, because that doesn't happen if I'm not at the table. And in order to be considered, you have to be present and have to be in people's faces in order to be considered for a lot of those awards. We have wonderful partnerships and relationships and nationally because of the work that I've done on my own dime, on my own time, because I don't get PTO. I am a 24/7 mayor, but also I can be in two places at one time as we have seen people working from home and things still get done.
I think some of the, you talked about perception and the cynicism. I think, for instance, one thing with the trips, they can say like, okay, you're paying for the trip with your own dime. That's fine. But I can't leave my house because the streets aren't being plowed and my trash hasn't been picked up for weeks and it's been an issue for years. And the potholes have been an issue for years. I'm driving my kids to school and I went through 10 flights of stairs on my Fitbit because my car is hitting potholes and bumping tires. And so they may say, okay, fine, it's great that you paid for it. But when I walk out my door, the basic services that I need in the city aren't happening.
I don't believe that to be true. But first, I want to set the stage here and make sure your listeners know that I am sorry for what they have experienced with this last storm. We didn't pivot fast enough. We didn't ask for help fast enough. And now that and we did, and now things are being addressed. We've had a trash blitz going on for the last several days with help from other city departments to pick up over almost 400 tons of trash. And also we've had smaller trucks also from other city departments and other contractors helping to remove the ice and the snow. And I must say that it is more difficult to address ice because you have to have chemicals and it has to be warm enough for those chemicals to work. We had single digit temperatures. So no chemicals are going to work when we have single digit temperatures, because first we had snow, then it turned to ice, and that becomes more difficult to treat. But again, we missed the mark, and I am apologizing for it because the buck stops with me. However, it's also important to note that we are addressing potholes, but our citizens have to report them. Our drivers aren't driving around just looking for potholes. It's a combination of citizens reporting them through the CSB, also our NIS or neighborhood stabilization officers also reporting them while they're out. But it's a give and take. Everybody has to participate in this democracy.
If somebody does reach out to CSB, what sort of response time should they expect? Because I have heard about people in South City. I've heard directly from people in Soulard, downtown West, who've had an issue with trash even now, where the dumpsters are still full even after a lot of this ice has melted. So why are they not getting quicker response in the moment?
Well, we are responding as fast as we have people to respond. On any given day, we have 55 trash routes to pick up, and we have about 39 to 41 drivers on a good day. And it's not because we haven't tried to hire more drivers. They require a specific set of skills. They have to have a commercial driver's license in order to be drivers. And as soon as we train them, sometimes the private operators pick them up. Your Republics, your other trash operators, because the city of St. Louis has not done a good job at keeping pace with pay. And so we can't compete with private industry when they're going to offer them $10,000 to $15,000 more. So, and again, these aren't excuses. This is just the reality of the labor shortage is real, and we are addressing this as soon as we can with the staff that we have available.
Why does the city of St. Louis, which is now getting, a windfall of money from RAM settlement, had ARPA funds, why is the city of St. Louis so especially short in all of these areas? Because I think what people do is they look at other counties, other municipalities, and go, well, they're getting trash picked up. And they had single digit temperatures. That wasn't special to St. Louis, and they were able to treat the roads before and after. They have narrow streets and street parking. That's not special to the city of St. Louis, and they were able to take care of it. Their potholes get fixed. After a while, why is the city of St. Louis so special that these are just so much harder to do in the city of St. Louis, that the city is behind in all of these things?
Well, I'm going to disagree with you because services are being delivered. And we are delivering services at the rate that we have people to deliver those services. And we are, again, our drivers are out there. We have other departments helping. We are filling potholes, and this is a participative democracy. We need other people to let us know where to go, because we put all of that on a map when we get it in CSB. That's why we ask people to report it to CSB, because we have a mapping tool that allows us to know where to go. But we're also going on our regular trash routes and making sure that we're picking everything up there.
How is the communication? Because there was right after the storm came in, there was the comment from the director of streets that, well, it didn't know that this was going on here, or there were troubles here. Is that a problem? Is communication an issue?
No,
and if so, how does it get rectified?
Well, communication isn't an issue when it comes to me. I've had several conversations with the director of streets. However, I believe she has to have those hard conversations with her employees. She has over 150 or plus employees doing streets, traffic, and refuse, and other things. So I believe those are hard conversations she has to have with her employees.
We do want to talk to you about the RAM settlement money specifically. You wanted to come in and speak on that as well. We will do that on the other side of this break. We appreciate you sitting through it. Mayor Tishaura Jones is with us here on KMOX.
Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Meet Viant AI, the world's first fully autonomous advertising platform. With Viant AI, you can automate media planning, analyze results, and drive smarter decisions, all while saving you time and resources. Viant AI helps you unlock new potential and boost productivity regardless of your expertise. Visit Viant.ai today and see how the future of artificial intelligence in advertising can work for you.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Each point in the standings impacts the playoff race. Secure your seats to witness every memorable moment at Enterprise Center. Get a St. Louis Blues Stretch Run Pack and claim your seat for all home games February 22nd through the end of the season. Plus, 2025 playoff purchase priority. Pack highlights include Mystery Hat Giveaway Night, 7 weekend games, and a matchup against Chicago. Get caught up in the hype when you purchase a Stretch Run Pack at stlouisblues.com/tickets or by calling 314-622-BLUE.
Setting goals for retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
For tips on building a better nest egg, tune in to the All Financial Hour with host Steve All, Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX. You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Let us explain. If you buy a diamond at Diamonds Direct today and decide in the future you want to upgrade to a larger diamond, Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. For example, let's say you bought her a $5,000 diamond last year, but now she wants to upgrade to a $6,000 diamond. Diamonds Direct will give you $5,500 toward the new one. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Whether that first diamond was $3,000 or $30,000, you get 10% more. Who else does this? And unlike other stores who claim to offer diamond upgrades, at Diamonds Direct, there's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Come and discover real value and buy with confidence. Proud to call the Lou home. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
I'm Brad Young. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark scores with you as we continue our conversation with the mayor of the city of St. Louis, Mayor Tashara Jones. And Mayor Jones, I know we're going to talk about the Rams settlement money. I just did want to follow up on something that you said, since you brought it up a couple of times, people reporting issues on their streets or potholes. I just want to clarify, are you saying those like potholes, are you saying they're slow to get filled or they're not getting filled?
No,
because
I'm not saying that.
Citizens aren't reporting it, or
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that when a pothole is reported, we have a standard to fill it within the first 24 to 48 hours. Our pothole crews have been working since last week with a cold solution to fill potholes, to realizing that we can't use the warmer one because the weather prevents that. But our crews have been out filling potholes since last week.
So moving on to the Rams money, there's close to $300 million of it to be invested in the city. And there's some disagreement as to how that money should be spent within the city. So tell us right now where you stand on it and what should happen with these different proposals.
Well, I believe there's only one proposal right now because this is governing at its best. This is how the sausage gets made, right? And I appreciate the bill sponsors, Alderwoman Saunier and Alderwoman Boyd, for getting together and coming to a compromise, which was also shepherded by my staff. And also working with Greater St. Louis Inc. To put all of these proposals together, because I firmly believe that with this windfall of money, everybody should get a little something. And that's what the current proposal that's being debated right now is. There's money that goes to downtown. There's money that goes to areas of our city that haven't seen investment in decades, like North St. Louis and parts of South St. Louis. There's money for people, for workforce. There's money for childcare. There's money for infrastructure, our water department, building new housing, small businesses. There's a little bit for everybody.
I know $74 million, I believe, is allocated for downtown St. Louis.
I don't know if that's the current number.
Okay.
It may change.
Okay. At up to $100 million would be matched by private, like Greater St. Louis, by private investors.
And they've committed to a 1-to-1 match.
Okay.
Yes.
I believe it was up to $100 million.
They committed to a 1-to-1 match. So
Okay.
whatever that number would be.
I guess my question is then, if there is that cap, would it make sense to whatever the cap is to match it as much as they're willing to match 1-to-1?
Again, I'm not aware of a cap. The last time I saw the bill, there wasn't a cap on the match.
As far as investment downtown specifically goes, what exactly do you envision? What does that look like to you?
I think that's addressing some of our largest vacant buildings. And we are already down the road on that with the Millennium Hotel, how we pushed the owners from Singapore to sell to a local developer. And now the RFPs are being reviewed. We've held the owners of the the Railway Exchange building, held them accountable, and now that process of eminent domain is complete. And then we'll be accepting bids for that to redevelop that building, because it is the second largest building in the entire state of Missouri. And we have to put that asset back into production and back into make it a tax generating asset that looks like other buildings downtown as well. We need to look at maybe some commercial to residential conversions, looking at parking, looking at our aging garage structure there. And also our convention center, completing our convention center to make it a world-class facility to make sure that we're attracting more conventions and conferences from around the country.
You mentioned your trips that you've taken, documented in the St. Louis Business Journal, and it said that they're important for advocating for the city of St. Louis. Obviously, it does take you away from the city of St. Louis. We had Alderwoman Daniela Velasquez on. She had proposed an idea for a city manager. While the mayor would oversee the vision for St. Louis and advocate, the city manager would take care of daily boots on the ground tasks. Are you open to, in favor of, the idea of a city manager?
Well, I'm not open to this particular bill, and let me tell you why. Because the city of St. Louis that it is currently set up has 9 citywide elected officials, including 6 county, 3 municipal. And in a typical city management structure or city manager structure, that city manager is over finance and personnel. We have an independently elected comptroller, an independently elected treasurer, and an independently appointed director of personnel that is held to standards by the Civil Service Commission. Unless the city manager is going to have control over those functions, which are primary to getting things done, and in addition to the other functions of license collecting and the collector of revenue and all of those other citywide functions that are independently elected, if we're not taking care of those first, then this city manager is just another level of bureaucracy that's going to keep people from getting services that they need.
We only have a few more moments with you before we have to break here. So wanted to talk to you about St. Louis Public Schools. They had their issues with transportation over the last several months. How have you been able to rectify that? I know that this is not, if you have been able to, or at least pressure them to do something about it, because it is an issue for a lot of parents.
Right. It is an issue for a lot of parents. And I feel that those parents' frustration and pain. We have a liaison that is directly responsible for engaging all of our educational and institutional partners through the Director of Children, Youth, and Families. We have extended an olive branch or a branch of help to SLPS. However, sometimes they accept it, sometimes they don't. But we stand ready to help wherever we're asked to.
We talk about crime a lot, how it hurts the city or the perception of crime. We had multiple callers and texters, lifelong city residents, who say no one's going to move here unless the schools improve. And that, how do you think the chaos at the St. Louis Public Schools is affecting the city's ability to move forward?
Oh, well, when we saw people leaving the city, the number one demographic of people leaving the city were single Black mothers. And when mothers move, they move for better educational opportunities and better financial opportunities for themselves and their families. And speaking as a single Black mother myself, I have spoken with many of my friends who have moved out of the city, and a lot of times it is about education. However, I'm not going to throw SLPS under the bus. They're doing the teachers there are doing a yeoman's job at taking care of our babies every day, despite the chaos that goes on at the board level. We do have good charter schools and good parochial and private schools here as well. But I do agree that until we have educational options, quality educational options for everyone, no matter the zip code that they live in, that will be an impediment to progress.
Mayor Tishaura Jones, trying to get the button to work over here. Mayor Tishaura Jones, we appreciate you giving us your time today. We'd love to be able to talk again down the road. So thank you for coming in, speaking with us, and addressing some of these issues. I know that there are a lot that we can get to in the future. So thank you
for having me.
That is Mayor Tishaura Jones with us. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
So you're thinking, great boat, 60 grand, but hey, we can have fun on the water. She's thinking, what, 3, maybe 4 months a year if we're lucky? You're thinking tow ropes and wakeboards. She's thinking granite countertops and undermount sinks. You're back to thinking about summers, but she's thinking about all year, every day, rain or shine. And she's also thinking 3 days and about half the cost. That's right, 3 days and half the cost. Your kitchen or bath can have a completely new look in just 3 days or less. Guaranteed. Top quality products and craftsmanship, 100% satisfaction guaranteed. And you and your family will enjoy it all year, day in and day out, with no tow ropes needed. Now, what are you thinking? Find out more about how your kitchen or bath can be the kitchen or bath of your dreams in just 3 days. Just visit 3daykitchen.com. That's 3daykitchen.com.
3-Day Kitchen and Bath. If you want jazz music, go to New Orleans. Bagels, New York. And for psychics, think California Psychics. You want the best, you go to the best. At California Psychics, home of free spirits and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. That's why we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
KMOX, KEZK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
If you're planning to sell and also buy a home in the near future, I know it can be stressful. Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty knows selling and buying your next home at the same time can be tricky, especially in our area. This is Debbie Monterey, and if you need to sell and buy at the same time, this message is for you. Gloria Liu has several great options for her home sellers, including her Sell and Stay program that gets you the most money possible for your current home and then allows you to stay put until you find your next home. No more stress, worries, or hassles or settling. Gloria Liu makes selling your St. Louis area home easy, and she's been doing this for more than 21 years. So why risk working with an average realtor when you can work with the best? The name to remember is Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Call 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
It is 12 noon in mid-America. This news update is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. We've got sunshine and 51 degrees downtown at the Arch. Anger and some humor at the first Senate committee confirmation hearing for Health Secretary hopeful RFK Jr.
How's your morning going? So far, so good.
But the confirmation hearing for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. involves some gotcha moments as Democrats, including Senator Elizabeth Warren, sought to pin him down, asking if he would commit to not taking money from drug companies.
Who? Me?
Yes, you.
Oh, yeah, I'm happy to commit to that.
Hey. Some lawmakers say Kennedy has repeatedly shifted positions on issues such as vaccines. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
Kennedy insists that he is neither anti-vaccine nor anti-industry. The Central Corps Fire Training Commission's goal is to have a new fire training center built in Shrewsbury operational by next year. Richmond Heights Fire Chief Phil Goody explains the worth of having a place where they stage fires with the use of liquefied propane and other materials.
So we try to get them as realistic as possible, with also the possibility that if something goes wrong, we can stop it immediately, and also we have a quick turnaround time.
Goody says $2 million has been budgeted for the project. The St. Louis County Council overrides Executive Sam Page's veto of 4 bills that deal with the council's authority.
Shall the ordinance pass the objections?
The lone no for passage was County Councilwoman Lisa Clancy. One bill would have required the county councilor to obtain approval from the council to hire outside lawyers. Up until now, current councilor Dana Redwing could make those decisions without approval. The other bill dealt with allowing the council chairperson to hire attorneys that represent legislative issues. The other bills were tackling hiring Joe Hogan to represent County Clerk Diane Valenti after being accused of forgery, which was later dropped, and hiring attorney Donnell Smith to represent the council for a court battle with Dr. Page that never came to fruition. Maria Aquino, KMOX News.
Childcare is getting tougher to afford.
The Department of Health and Human Services says 7% of family income is the benchmark for affordable child care. But the latest figures from online agency care.com show parents are spending 22% of their household income on child care costs, more than 3 times that threshold. What's the answer? 87% of the parents polled want to see expanded tax credits for care expenses. 79% think employers should offer subsidized child care. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
Well, many are worried about the price of eggs. Serena Stewart of Stewart Farm in Franklin County tells KMOX their goal is to be the healthy option, not the cheapest. They've sold a dozen eggs for $6 for a while.
We're raising our animals and our produce in a way that the soil stays healthy, the air stays healthy, the water stays healthy. And so there really is a lot of things that tie into the food that you eat, how it's raised.
And how they're protecting their chickens from the bird flu.
Even if we were to net our entire 4 acres to try to keep the birds out, they would eventually find a way to wiggle in.
The KMOX Business Desk, check your pantry.
The Food and Drug Administration issues an elevated recall when it comes to 13-ounce bags of Lay's classic potato chips. The recall was upgraded because of an undeclared ingredient that could cause a life-threatening reaction for anyone with a milk allergy. Kimberly Adams, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Steeples down 151 points to 44,698. Got a stalled vehicle, 6440 going east at Hampton. That's on the right shoulder.
Mild with sun and a high of 54 this afternoon. After a clear evening, clouds increase tonight, low 38. Periods of rain with a cooler high of 47 for tomorrow. This is AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
It's a sunny sky, 51 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Use both your KMOX presets when you're in the car. 98.7 FM near the city and 1120 AM further out. 2 buttons for KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Final hour of the show on KMOX. Amy Markscores and Chris Ranji. And right now we welcome in the president of the Puerto Rican Society, Maria Rosario. As you may have heard the story recently of a Missouri woman from St. Peter's, actually, who committed arson.
Yes. In a drunken rage and moment of idiocy and selfishness, burned down a bar/hotel in Puerto Rico.
Well, that doofus is still in jail right now, from what I understand. And that was ruled earlier this week.
That was the official ruling. The doofus is in jail.
She is in custody until the trial starts.
Yeah.
So that happened. But the Puerto Rican Society here in St. Louis, along with Alderwoman Daniela Velasquez, who has been on the show a number of times, are they're doing a fundraiser for Luigi's Seaside Hotel, and Maria Rosario is with us now. We appreciate you coming in, Maria.
Oh, thank you for the invite. I mean, it's not every day we get invited to the radio to talk and be with you guys, so we're excited to be here.
On KMOX, no
on
less.
KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
That's right.
So as Ranji mentioned, I just want to set the stage here too. You're president of the Puerto Rican Society here in St. Louis. Are you guys your own entity? Or are you a chapter of a larger group?
We are our own entity here in St. Louis. We're a 501c3. We've been around for 30 years. So the Puerto Rican community has been very active and very vocal in St. Louis for the last 30 years. There are other organizations similar to us in other cities, states. Kansas City has their own chapter, their own Puerto Rican Society over there. I think Tennessee, Nashville, Chicago, obviously they have their whole Puerto Rico Cultural Center. But yes, there's a lot of us all over the country and a lot of us in our own cities and our own states have decided to come together and create organizations like this. To just help build community outside of Puerto Rico. I have a little phrase I like to use all the time. Somos tu familia extendida, we're your extended family. And a lot of people, when they move here to St. Louis from Puerto Rico, the first thing they're trying to find is where can I buy Puerto Rican food? Where can I buy the ingredients to make food? Or where can I go and hear live music or stuff like that? And we're kind of that vehicle to help them find what they need for them to feel comfortable and like they have their family here.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say they're going to look, where do I find the beach? Because that would be hard to give up.
Oh,
yes.
It's beautiful
Yeah.
in Puerto Rico. The beaches are beautiful. So
Nothing like a river beach.
the Mississippi River is not quite.
Just a disgusting river beach. That's
Well,
what we. That's
come
what
on, we have the arch.
What are you gonna? What are you? Yeah, it's nice. It's
don't
very
poo-poo the city.
No, I'm not poo-pooing the city. I love the arch. Just a little different than a beach. So
It is different than the beach, which is gorgeous.
at Salsa Rosada, this is where the fundraiser is going to happen this Sunday, and it starts at noon. Tell us about what's going to go on there.
Yeah, so basically, after this incident happened,
a lot of Puerto Ricans started coming up to us like, what can we do? How can we help? How can we support? And with the help of Alderwoman Daniela Velasquez, we came up with, hey, let's do a fundraiser. Let's find a place that'll host all of these loud, friendly Hispanic and Latinos here in St. Louis. So we partnered with Salsa Rosada. Mandy, she's also the owner of Mayo Ketchup, which is one of the few places where you can actually go and have some Puerto Rican food here in St. Louis. She's been a strong supporter of us. She said, sure, my doors are open. Come here. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to have some DJ Big Papa G. I'm not sure if you've heard of him. He's a Puerto Rican. He's a New Rican. We love him. He's part of our board, volunteered his time and his talent to help kind of just set the tone and the mood. Obviously, we're going to be listening to some Bad Bunny. If you don't know who he is, then please do a quick Google search. He's been trending for the last couple of weeks thanks to his newest album that really highlights how a lot of Puerto Ricans in the United States kind of feel, and that's wanting and that yearning of being able to go back and, be with our people and be able to take advantage of our culture. We'll be playing a little short film that he created along with his CD. We'll also have some auction items. We've had some amazing people donate items to help raise some additional money. We have a donation from the Missouri Athletic Club, from Polo Ascenso. He's one of the Spanish broadcasters.
Polo's our guy.
Polo's our guy.
He is our guy.
Yeah,
he's a lot.
He comes into the studio and you just step back. You can go take a smoke
He's
break
just gonna,
or something while he takes over.
You understand that when he gets there, he's just going to not stop talking. You do realize this.
And then another wonderful news that we have is, besides just, camaraderie, being together, we'll have a nice brief message from the owner of Luigi's Seaside Hotel. So people will be able to put a face to the person who's behind the rebuilding and the reconstruction of the hotel. And then something I'm actually excited to share here first, openly with the public, is we received an anonymous donor who is willing to match the money we raise up to $10K.
Oh, wow.
So St. Louis,
awesome.
Please show up. Please
St. Louis.
support, because if we're able to reach 10K, we get an extra 10K, and that's 20K we're able to donate to Luigi's and help them with their whole rebuilding of the hotel, which they're in the process of, and it's like almost $500,000, I believe, was the last number I received. So it's a lot of money to rebuild.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. When something like this happens, obviously it hits so close to home for the Puerto Rican community here in St. Louis. I think Missouri as a whole, in addition to it being a horrific crime, it's also embarrassing for Missouri. Like, it's embarrassing. I that was my first thought, is like, because that is something that makes national news, and then you're like, oh my gosh, we're Missouri, and people are like, oh, that's where that lady was from. And so to counteract the fact that it was also crime and devastating, but to counteract the embarrassment, say we're better than this.
Oh yeah, so
this lady from St. Peter's is not who we are.
Yeah, no, and that's kind of one of the reasons why we wanted to put together this event, to kind of demonstrate that, hey, there is a Puerto Rican community here. In case you did not know, there's a Puerto Rican community here, and there's a lot of Americans that also love Puerto Rico, and a lot of other people who live here in St. Louis, a lot of Latinos that have visited Puerto Rico, whether for pleasure, for work, and have fallen in love with the island as well. And we just kind of want to demonstrate to the world, like, hey, yeah, this was one, accident on its own. That's not how the rest of us feel. There's people here who want to support our island, support our people. So we're giving them an opportunity to show up and be there with us.
So you do have direct contact with the owners of the hotel?
Yes, we do. One of our board members, Hector Vega, he's been working day and night since the incident happened, communicating with Angel Marrero. He's the owner. He's actually helped him get access to other news channels to do interviews and be able to share resources, so people over here can learn more and report properly on the incident and what's going on. So we've been working with them and trying to help as much as possible.
Do you know, and maybe you do, maybe you don't, but them having to rebuild, do they have to just pay for this out of pocket completely on their own? Are they counting on donations? Was there any other means of them getting funding to rebuild?
So I don't know all of those juicy details. I do know obviously they had insurance, but insurance, just like everything else,
Doesn't
you
cover
get
everything.
You get into a car accident, insurance only covers one part of the repair, so it's kind of like the same scenario. The insurance doesn't necessarily cover everything that was damaged and that needs to be rebuilt, which is why all of these donations that are coming in are really key to the success of Luigi's being able to come back into operation.
And that event this Sunday, February 2nd at Salsa Rosada in St. Louis, it's a $45 donation basically to get in, which gets you one margarita to start off, appetizers while supplies last, as you mentioned, music by Big Papa G. There will also be, does it seem like a presentation of like stories? As well.
So we have people from Puerto Rico, Cabo Rojo, recording some videos that we can present. We're gonna have this big, I think 80-inch TV to present all of the videos. And then besides that, we'll also have that silent auction going on with some. Right now, we only have 3 items, with more being added on a daily basis. And basically, it's just an opportunity for us to connect. I know our community is going through a lot right now, so this is just an opportunity to create a safe space for people to gather and people to just kind of do something positive and try to aim for something happy.
Yes, no, absolutely. And you guys picked a great weekend because there's no football.
Yeah,
very
and,
smart with the
I think
timing.
it's gonna be like 63 degrees on Sunday.
Yeah.
Even better. I mean, it's not beach weather, but we'll take
No.
it.
dirty Missouri River Beach weather.
Okay.
You
It's not, so we don't have the beaches. We
got beaches.
We have
They're
a
just
free
gross.
zoo,
We do have a free zoo.
and it is a very nice zoo.
It is.
So-
It is.
Before you leave, Maria, you have to say this is the best zoo in the world.
It is. Honestly, I've been to a lot of zoos. Every time I try to
See?
visit other cities, other states, I try to visit the zoos. And honestly, St. Louis is on the top.
It's up there. Yeah.
How do people donate and or get tickets for Sunday's event, which starts at noon?
Can you just show up and get tickets?
Yeah, you can also show
pay when
up.
you
I
get
mean,
there.
honestly, the online tickets is just to kind of help us know if we need to get more appetizers or do we need to get more drinks or for us to be able to prepare and for the logistics of the event. But yes, you can show up the day of the event, make a donation at the door. Yes, we have a strong suggestion of $45, but it's just us doing math in the background and making sure we at least hit the 5K goal that we had initially, but now we're raising it to 10K.
Yeah, now that you got the match.
Exactly.
Right,
Now
you
that we
gotta
have the
take
match.
advantage of that.
But you can also just donate online. You can find us on social media, SPR St. Louis, our website as well, sprstlouis.com. You'll find information on the event, the link to register, the link to donate. Today in the afternoon, the link for the silent auction will be going up as well. So for that, you don't necessarily have to be at the event. But yes, no donation is too small or too big. Even if it's $1, hey, we'll take it. We're just trying to really put a positive twist to what happened. Trying to create community, let people know that we are here to support our Puerto Ricans, not just here in St. Louis, but also in Puerto Rico. And yeah, we just want everyone to be there. So please show up.
All the information about the event, SPRST Louis. So SPRStLouis.com. There's an events tab. Click on the events tab and it's right there.
Yep.
So
Awesome.
Maria Rosario, thank you for coming in.
Thank you
And good
for the
luck this
invite.
weekend. It'll be a fun event.
Yes, I will. I hope I see some of you there, please.
It'd be
At
fun.
Show up.
Salsa Rosada.
Yes.
Salsa Rosada. That is on Sunday. It will start at noon. Donation suggested of $45. Maria, thank you for coming in. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Each point in the standings impacts the playoff race. Secure your seats to witness every memorable moment at Enterprise Center. Get a St. Louis Blues stretch run pack and claim your seat for all home games February 22nd through the end of the season. Plus, 2025 playoff purchase priority. Pack highlights include Mystery Hat Giveaway Night, 7 weekend games, and a matchup against Chicago. Get caught up in the hype when you purchase a stretch run pack at stlouisblues.com/tickets or by calling 314-622-BLUE.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad. Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 10% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
At David's Bridal, love is in every stitch. From the initial sketch to the final details, each style is designed with exquisite craftsmanship. Every wedding gown, bridesmaid look, prom dress, and special occasion style in between features handcrafted details filled with love. Come see the magic in person. Book an appointment and sign up for Diamond Loyalty to save 15% on your first purchase. Earn points towards special rewards and more at davidsbridal.com.
Seeing the world around you is so important. So take care of your eyes. And why would you trust them to just anyone? The best doctors to see for your best vision are the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and Samuel Berry. The Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates are experts in diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. Things like dry eye, cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma. They do LASIK surgery at Ophthalmology Associates. And yes, they can check your eyes to see if your prescription is still the right one for you, for your glasses and contacts. This will be the most thorough eye exam that you have ever had in your life, because really your eyes are a window into the health of the rest of you. So please take care of your vision and see the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Ophthalmology Associates, 314-966-5000, or make your appointment today at youridoc.com. Ophthalmology Associates.
Stay informed. Stay entertained. The voice of St. Louis. KMOX.
Oh, Amy. Amy just informed me of something. She's an alcoholic.
I'm
now.
afraid I'm an alcoholic. I don't know how much alcohol you need.
Hold on.
What?
Let me throw this out there just so people have an idea of what you think alcoholism is. Okay. So Amy got a bottle of tequila.
Yes.
Before Christmas.
Yes.
Which is December 25th.
Yes. And I probably got it late November, early December.
Okay. So you got almost 2 months ago, you got a bottle of tequila.
Yes.
She just finished the bottle
last night.
And she said, I think I might be an alcoholic.
Because there's something about finishing a
months.
bottle of tequila when
took
you no, it's the whole idea of finishing a bottle of alcohol.
Yeah, most people do it in 2 hours. You did it in 2 months.
But that was just by myself. You know what I mean? That's what's I'm so
God.
embarrassed. I drank that by myself. I feel so embarrassed.
What?
I feel like an alcoholic.
That is.
I Googled how much alcohol is alcoholism.
Look. I have often said that you are a gigantic spaz.
Yes.
There's just no way that you mean this. Are you serious? Or are you like?
I will say because I've never finished a bottle of alcohol by myself before, that this being the first one, I don't know how long it's supposed to take people. And I did actually feel a little embarrassed
Dude.
that I was an alcoholic because I
Amy.
drank the entire bottle by myself.
Over a 2-month period.
But that weren't the only drinks I had.
Let me tell you what alcoholism is. Let me tell you what it is.
From someone who knows, okay?
I know a lot of alcoholics, functioning, of course. There was a guy that I know who years ago lived in Los Angeles, and he worked at the Viper Room. If you know what that is, that's Johnny Depp's old club.
Oh.
Big deal in LA for a while. This guy, when he was working at that club,
Yeah.
I mean, he had to stop, obviously, or he was going to die. But he said he would wake up every day, and there would be a bottle of whiskey, usually Jack, and it would be on his nightstand, and he would wake up, sit up, and he would start taking swigs out of the bottle
Oh my
right
gosh,
away.
that's awful.
That's alcoholism.
Yeah.
What you had is you finished one bottle. Yeah. You had a little drink every now and then over 2 months.
I'm 41 years old. I've never consumed an entire bottle of alcohol by myself. And I did it. And when I was pouring the last drops into my little cup, I just thought, this is it. I'm an alcoholic. I drink an entire bottle of alcohol by myself.
Texter to 314-436-7900 says, Amy's not an alcoholic. I've never seen her at a meeting. Well, it could be that she just hasn't admitted it yet.
I don't know what it is, but there's something really disconcerting and depressing about finishing a bottle of alcohol by yourself. Now I have to go to the alcohol store and get another bottle.
That's the best part. New stuff.
Dude, you're as Dave Glover said to me one time, we were talking about you, and he said, this was 2 years ago, probably.
So you didn't even
and he
know
said,
me then. I wasn't in my prime.
He goes, Amy is just not a real person. I go, you know what? She's not.
Have you
nobody
finished
is
a
like
bottle
you.
of hard liquor by yourself?
Well, I don't drink alone.
See? That's the number one sign of an alcoholic.
No, it is not.
is
No, it is not.
drinking by
No, it is not.
yourself.
A lot of people will come home from work and have
Yeah.
a glass of wine with dinner. That's
you know
not,
what?
That's normal.
So this is
I just personally don't.
this is gonna be such a weird thing because I think Kelly Ripa, who is beautiful and looks very young, I think she has an eating disorder. She posted what she eats in a day, and she goes, "Well, I don't eat my first chewing food until dinner."
Chewing
She
food?
calls it chewing food, which sounds like disordered eating. But anyway, she said she stopped drinking and gained 12 pounds. And I get it because to me, I used to like sit there like and crave sweets after dinner, right?
Yeah.
Like you want a dessert.
That's pretty
But
common.
I found that like a little bit of like tequila and club soda is such a nice little sipper. To me, it feels like a dessert.
That's okay.
So that's why I have it, like, and I just pour very little, right? And I'm doing this obviously like while training and running. So I'm like waking up at 5 a.m. and running. So no, I'm not getting plastered.
No,
But it
took
does
you-
feel weird to finish the
No, it
bottle all
isn't.
by yourself. And now I have to go in by myself and buy a bottle and be like, this is just for me.
Well, I've never finished by myself a bottle of
Hard liquor.
alcohol.
Yeah.
I've also never finished an entire thing of chapstick. I always lose them.
Why is that?
I lose them.
Has anyone seen the bottom of a chapstick?
Never. Never once. I mean, it's the same concept as deodorant. You know, you keep turning the thing until it's over. I've never gotten to the bottom
Do
of a
you use
chapstick.
chapstick or do you use Carmex?
Burt's Bees.
I love I use Burt's Bees.
I don't like the carcinogens in the Carmex or whatever it is.
Yeah, I like Burt's Bees. Carmex is classic, tastes like gasoline, but the classic Carmex does. And remember the Carmex that came in the tub that you had to stick your finger in?
Yeah, that was gross.
That is gross.
And people would share it.
Oh, that's the
disgusting.
kind that Dusty used in Three Amigos.
That's right. Lip balm. Go watch the Three Amigos. Texter wants to know if you drank the bottle hiding in a closet.
No, but I live in a studio apartment, which is a big closet.
Okay. So
And there's no one to hide from.
I suppose if you were hiding it from somebody, then
Yeah.
that's a problem.
And I went through way more bottles of club soda than I did tequila.
And let me tell you, I have this is alcoholism can manifest in many forms.
Yeah.
And I knew somebody else who had a real problem.
Yeah.
And I had been out with him before, and I said, how did this happen? Like, where did you, he seemed fine. And he said, I developed a taste for whiskey. and it got so bad
Oh, no.
that at any point he had to have airplane bottles of
Oh,
whiskey in his pockets.
That's awful.
Yeah.
See, that's why I'm afraid. I don't want to become an alcoholic.
This texter says, I drink 1.5 liter bottle of wine every night. No, you do not.
You can't do that.
That's not true. I don't believe that.
Is that one of your girlfriends?
No, it's a texter to the show from a 636.
That's a lot of wine. Is a normal bottle 1.5 liters?
I don't think so. I think it's like 750 mils.
What is milliliters?
Milliliters,
Okay,
yeah.
I got it.
Amy Marks Coors, Chris Ranji. Talk to us. 314-436-7900 on KMOX.
Jason Aldean, Full Throttle Tour 2025, powered by Patriot Mobile. When the lights come on. Saturday, July 19th, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. With Nate Smith. And Ray Lynn. Jason Aldean, on sale Friday, January 31st at 10 a.m. at LiveNation.com. Jason Aldean Live.
Lifestyles Unlimited, the education and mentoring group with a roadmap and support to help you real estate retire.
Having the consulting team, having other avenues within your whole system is what's made y'all successful. Everyone is there to guide you to be successful. So it's just up to you to get off the bed and do it.
Do it. Take action today. Get educated now at Lifestyles Unlimited. Text the word radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007. Join for $297, a 60% savings. Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007.
The 25th Annual Heat Up St. Louis Rise and Shine benefit of participating Hardee's takes place Friday, February 14th. Join KMOX as we rise and shine to keep neighbors in Missouri and Illinois warm this winter. Get a Hardee's sausage biscuit or egg biscuit for $1 and consider leaving some extra dough with our volunteers. Have a heart. Heat a home. The 25th Annual Heat Up St. Louis Rise and Shine benefit. Friday, February 14th at participating Hardee's.
Heating costs are getting out of control, and experts say it's going to get even worse before spring. This is Debbie Monterey for Window Nation, and if you want to save money, replace those cold, drafty windows with energy-efficient ones from Window Nation. Go to windownation.com now, and you can save up to 50% off all window styles, plus get 0% interest and no payments for 2 years. But hurry, because the sale ends January 31st, so don't miss out. Schedule a free in-home consultation now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
At 12:30, we've got sunshine, 52 downtown at the Arch.
This just in.
The White House Budget Office is rescinding its order for a federal grant freeze. The order had sparked widespread confusion. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was taking questions from senators today. He addressed concerns about his position on vaccines.
News reports have claimed that I'm anti-vaccine or anti-industry. I am neither. I am pro-safety.
During his response, a protest broke out. Road work on 70 going east at 141. The left lane is closed. And the forecast for this afternoon, high 54. For tonight, clear sky, low 38. Tomorrow, some rain, high 47. Right now, 52 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
You know what makes every diamond unique and special are its 4 C's. Its cut, clarity, color, and carat weight. But do you know what makes Diamonds Direct special and unique? It's our own 4 C's. The first C, concept. Diamonds Direct has revolutionized jewelry shopping by eliminating middleman markups and giving you direct access to the world's finest diamonds straight from the diamond cutters. The second C, choice. Diamonds Direct's multi-million-dollar selection of precious diamonds is unparalleled. And with over 4,000 designer settings to choose from, you are empowered to make a decision that works for your style and taste. Third C, confidence. With a nationwide price guarantee, a free lifetime warranty, our unique 110% diamond upgrade policy, and our no pressure, no risk environment, you have total peace of mind. And the fourth C, community. Every year we partner with local charities and nonprofits with significant donations of time, money, and jewelry to make this a better place for everyone. Diamonds Direct, as unique, as special, and as rare as every diamond in our showcase. Proud to call the Lou home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
What's happening in the world of politics? Find out from the guys who know the game best, Hancock and Kelly.
I love getting to spend time talking politics and life in St. Louis with my pal John Hancock, one of the most politically misguided people I know.
Well, we may disagree about a few things, but it'll be good radio.
Find out what's happening in the world of politics and everything else with Hancock and Kelly.
We like spending time with all of you right here on KMOX.
Friday mornings beginning at 8:30. No doubt about it. Only on KMOX.
Time when the Metrolink originated at the airport, and my wife and I and kids would take it down in Union Station and have an awesome day. And on the way back, we would surf in the car, standing up, rocking back and forth. Thank goodness it never got extended to West County. St. Charles doesn't need the bum line.
Wait, what?
He's not a fan of the Metro anymore.
Oh, the Metro
Link.
Yeah.
But he would surf like they would pretend to surf.
Like standing in the middle of the train.
Oh, gotcha.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I do that at the airport if it's not crowded on those little, not our airport, we don't have it, but on the airport trams. The airport trams, like in Denver and Dallas.
Oh, where it takes you from parking or from the terminal to the
terminal. Yeah.
Okay.
Those are a little rocky. You can surf on those. I will say the one time when I was a kid, when we first got the Metrolink, it's in the 90s, my grandparents took us to ride on it because they would do things like that. They also took us to watch. They go, "You want to go ice skating?" And we said yes. And what I didn't realize is they took us to the St. Peter's Recplex to watch the ice skaters as little kids. They would
You thought
take
you were
us.
gonna get
Yes,
to?
yes. We thought we
That's
were going
awful.
to get to ice skate, and they said, "Oh no, we're going to watch the ice skaters." So we sat there as little kids
Oh, no.
watching the other kids ice skate. But they also took us on the Metrolink because they're like, "Oh, let's go on this new thing." And I sat down, and I don't know, my sister and I sat down in seats, and a guy next to us told us about how, now remember, I'm like 9, how he had invested in these brothels in Thailand and how they were very lucrative. And if we ever went to Thailand, that we could do very well there. So that was my 9-year-old experience on the Metrolink, being recruited for a brothel in Thailand.
I don't think you'd do well in a brothel.
Well, now I'm 41.
Well, you wouldn't have done well at any age, really. And I don't think that's really an insult to say that you would not have done well at a brothel.
I know. I'm like, what? Whatever, Ron.
Yes, I would. Texter says, if you call a liquor store an alcohol store, you're not an alcoholic.
We have a voice message from Lisa on the Odyssey app for Amy.
Amy, you're not an alcoholic. It doesn't matter how many drinks you have or in what time frame. It matters what happens to you when you drink. I'm a recovering alcoholic of over 38 years, and God bless you, but you're not an alcoholic.
That's right.
Well,
Good luck.
thank you for calling on. Congratulations on your recovery. That is really
Yes.
admirable, because I that
Yeah.
would be so difficult.
Amy has never woken up on the lawn.
It's just because, like, if you are, I always say, like, the good kids, like the innocent kids, when stuff goes south, they're the ones that get in trouble because they don't know how to get out of it. They don't recognize signs of, like, bad things. I don't know how to commit crime. I'd be a bad criminal. I don't know how to commit tax fraud. So I don't know if I was an alcoholic. What if I accidentally became one? I don't want to do that.
You know, I was a good kid when I was growing up.
Mhm.
True. You about made a face like, yeah, okay.
This is 100% what I thought. I was
Do
about
you know-
to say, "Oh yeah," and then I remembered that you dressed up as a Christmas tree
For
for
Halloween.
Halloween, and that's adorable.
Well, the only time I ever got in trouble
Yeah.
in grade school, it happened once in grade school, and it wasn't my fault. We were in music class,
Yeah.
and we were singing a song, and a kid next to me was fudging the words up, and he was making fun of the song, and all I did was laugh at him, and we
Oh.
both got in trouble. It's
Oh,
not fair,
That's not fair.
but it was funny. So
That's also super on brand for you. That's what you would do now.
yeah. Here's a message that Amy should check out the song "Tequila Makes Her Clothes Fall Off."
Oh,
It-
I don't
It's
think
not. It's a
so.
country song.
Have you ever read that book, To Kill a Mockingbird? I love
right,
that
it
book.
is-
Had nothing to do with
It is-
alcohol, though.
It is 12:36, and I'm wondering if we could just go home early.
I think can we play music?
We want to go. I want to go home early. Let's just play music for the rest of the hour,
What? Oh, you know what we could do?
and then I can go home and get some chewing food.
We could just play a clip from the way you closed out the show 2 days ago for 17 minutes. We love you. keep listening. We'll be back tomorrow. You can listen on the Odyssey app.
And we love you.
Because we love you.
Right.
Um,
We had the mayor in studio.
We did.
Mayor Tashara Jones visited with us, was kind enough to give us a couple of segments. We're had her for almost a half hour, and we addressed a number of the issues in the city of St. Louis, primarily. And we started with the police takeover, or the potential police takeover by the state of Missouri. Mike Kehoe, a lot of Republican legislators want the state of Missouri to take over the police department here in the city of St. Louis. And she is not really in favor of that.
First, I want to address his comments when he talked about the current status quo is unacceptable, and also remind him of who hired the police chief. I did. I want to know who the status quo is. A 42% reduction in homicides is not status quo. A 24% reduction in overall violent crime is not status quo. Billions of dollars in investment in our city over the last 4 years and into the foreseeable future is not status quo.
So to me, and I said this earlier, and I'll reiterate it. Ultimately, bottom line, I don't really care who's in control of what, as long as things are good for people, right? If the city is in good shape, if the police department is in good shape, doing its job, has the resources it needs, I don't really care who is in charge. Ideally, I would like for local control to belong, for local elements to be under local control. So I would prefer if the police department was in city control. What I think I'm a little nervous about, or would be nervous about, is if the state takes over, it's ruining, or the potential it ruins momentum that's already been started. And things like improving crime downtown. We have a new police chief who appears to know what he's doing. We have a prosecutor in the city who also appears to know what he's doing. And I don't know if we should mess with that. As long as things are heading in the right direction, it's almost like trying to fix a problem that's already in the process of being fixed.
Yeah, I honestly, Ranj, I don't know. I don't have strong feelings about who should run the police department. That does not mean that I don't have strong feelings that I'm frustrated with the city of St. Louis, frustrated with crime, hopeful that the numbers continue to drop, and that we do start to feel safer and we just see more people in the city of St. Louis. I know Kansas City had its highest homicide rate last year. It's run by the state. The state took over the police department in Kansas City, the only major city that does not control its own police department. I also know Kansas City is growing in business and residents and has a lot of plus sides. And so I know what my point is. The state takeover of a police department is not a panacea. It does not mean that I'm not even currently frustrated, that I don't think the administration now could be doing more, and I get it. I don't have an exact answer for which is better. I'm glad we have Gabe Gore, because not having a circuit attorney is so detrimental. Not having a circuit attorney who prosecutes crime is so detrimental to a city, because, like I've said over and over, to deter crime, you need a police presence, you need certainty that you're going to get caught, and you need immediacy that you're going to face some kind of punishment. And if you don't have a circuit attorney, there's no punishment for the crime. So right. I'm glad that we've got Gabe Gore, but he has a big hole to dig out of. Kim Gardner set that office way back. There's perception among residents in St. Louis County and St. Louis City, but there's also a perception within, criminals in downtown St. Louis. Why do we know this? Because we know criminals are coming from other parts, coming from outside of the city of St. Louis to cause trouble downtown. They're going to drive their cars on Wash Ave. They're going to shoot fireworks and guns on 4th of July, because even the perception within these small groups of criminals has to change as well. They got to know we're going to get caught.
Here's what I would say to the state. If they can show me with data, with numbers, and in writing specifically, precisely what they are going to do to offer more resources to the police department or to the city to improve the situation that already seems to be improving. If they can make it increase exponentially by doing whatever they say they're going to do, all right, I'm willing to listen. But you got to show me. You have to show me that what your plan is far and away better than what the city is currently doing right now.
Okay, I could be wrong here. We'd love to hear from you. 314-436-7900. What I'm about to say is ridiculous. It's not going to happen.
Well.
Yeah, it's not possible. I get it. I'm just saying out of frustration that if I could trade, say, okay, the city gets to maintain its police department, control of police department. So I would reject a state takeover. I could also send back all the money that we got from the Rams settlement and just get the Rams back. I would do that in a heartbeat because having an NFL team and the economy, do you know what? But I mean, as silly as it is, having an NFL team downtown does help drive people downtown, and it drives tourist economy, and it helps put your city on the map, and it helps give you relevance. And like I said, it's such an economic boon that, yeah, I would give all that money back and say, yeah, the city, you keep the police department. I just want an NFL team back because that would help the city, in my mind, more than the other things.
Of course it does. And the reason it does is because it's an entity that continues to give for years and years and years. This is a one-time payment.
Yeah.
We got a one-time payment of hundreds of millions of dollars, which is great. But to have an NFL team, which is it's
you have an NFL team, that guy's not getting shot at 4 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon right by the dome.
Probably not. Even though it's only 8-9 games a year that will happen in that building, the fact that that it's there, that the business is there, the Rams are there off Washington Avenue would pay dividends over time. But again, not going to happen, which really sucks. So the entire interview, we should tell you, is on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Download the app. Listen to our interview with Mayor Tashara Jones. She gave us a good amount of time today. So if you want to go back and listen to everything she had to say, you can do that. She talked about the Rams settlement money, the police takeover, the snow plow problems, because there are parts of the city that are still iced over a little bit, though that's melting now. We got warm weather here for this week, so I would imagine a lot of that is gone. Speaking of the ice, I come off Kings Highway a lot of times. I'll drive different routes to work. I don't always take the same one, in case I'm being chased and followed.
Which happens a lot.
But there is leaving the Central West End on Kings Highway, you get to the left 2 lanes to turn left onto the highway. And the left lane, the very left lane, there is a giant mound of iced over snow that's completely black. So it looks like the road, and with the sun coming down, I keep forgetting it's there, and I have multiple times almost. And if I hit it, it would be like crashing into it. It's not like a bump. It's higher than, it's at least eye level.
Yeah.
To my car. If I'm sitting in the car,
good.
it's eye level, and it's just this big block of gray ice that's sitting there. That's super dangerous, and I can't believe nobody has crashed into it yet. It's wild.
Yeah, that we know of. I did not get to ask the mayor if she almost fell walking into the building, because I will say it bothers me, the school that's in this building, that those moms and the little toddlers, the little kiddos with their
trying to get
knit
in
hats are parking in the middle of Olive and forced to walk across 10, 12 feet of ice and snow that's hardened over and bumpy. And I hate seeing that. Then they're so cute and they're just trying not to fall. It's been 25 days. Why is that strip not
I don't know,
cleaned
dude.
off?
This text message says, you are vastly overvaluing the NFL. It's fantastic not having an NFL team. What? No, it is not. That is okay.
It's
Look,
Dan Kroenke right
let
now.
me just. It has to. That cannot be a serious text message. You may not like
It's
football.
fantastic.
First of all, it is fantastic not having an NFL team. It is objectively good to have an NFL team. Objectively, this is not a subjective take. Even if you don't like football, to be an NFL city matters.
When he said, or when the texter said, you're vastly overvaluing the NFL, that's something like, okay, make your argument. Tell me why. And then
I have to hear it.
then when he said, it's fantastic not having a team.
Yep.
No, get serious.
I'm not.
It's
there's-
not fantastic not having anything.
It's stupid.
You know what I love?
We love you. Thank you for texting in. You may not be a stupid person. That's a very stupid comment. That is not. Come on, dude. It is. We talk about it all the time.
Doesn't even make sense.
The top 100 television programs aired every single year. 90 of them are NFL games. It is absolutely not overvalued.
Insane.
It couldn't be more valuable, honestly. Wow. All right.
We have St. Louis Golf Expo tickets to give away. Be the 8th caller.
8?
On the contest line, 314-955-1120. You can win tickets to the St. Louis Golf Expo at the St. Charles Convention Center this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Here's your chance to win today. You'll have a couple more chances tomorrow and Friday. And of course, you have to be listening to win. Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji, KMOX.
Success is picking up extra shifts for your family. Now you want to be the boss. Success is getting your foot in the door. Now you want to take the next step. Success looks different to everyone, and University of Maryland Global Campus can help you reach your goals. And there's never been a better time to get started on your future. Apply by February 12th and save with no application fee. As an accredited state university, UMGC has been transforming lives for over 75 years. With more than 135 undergraduate and graduate degrees and certificates, online and hybrid courses, personalized support, financial resources, and lifetime career services, achieving your dreams is more possible than ever before. Choose the program that's right for your career goals and get started on your next success. Get your application fee waived through February 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Do you want to kickstart planning for your retirement this year? I know the quick and easy way to do this. It's a 3-hour adult education class. It's called Retirement Planning 101. It's almost like getting the Cliff Notes, right? On how you could make your money go a lot further in retirement. Hi, it's Sue Thomas. And this is a one-night class. It's taught by a fiduciary advisor from financial and tax architects with decades of financial planning experience. Now, they hold these at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis. You're going to learn about IRA and 401k withdrawals, tax saving strategies, Roth conversions, Social Security, and more. And there's no cost. Just bring 3 canned goods for the St. Louis Crisis Nursery. Now, there are still openings for classes this month and next. So call 314-947-2012, 314-947-2012. That's 314-947-2012.
Weeknights at 6. It's the Gray Bar Sports Open Line.
Do welcome you in right here on KMOX. My name is Matt Pauley.
Matt Pauley has everything sports, from what's happening with your Cardinals,
A lot of Cardinals baseball stuff. A lot to get into.
to the sports news of the day,
Let's talk a little St. Louis Blues hockey.
interviews and special guests. It's all waiting for you with Matt Pauley.
It's all coming up.
The Gray Bar Sports Open Line. Weeknights at 6 on KMOX.
I'm Michael Calhoun. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Oh, yesterday we had somebody from Troy, Illinois who won. Today, Mike from Troy, Missouri has won tickets to the St. Louis Golf Expo this weekend at the St. Charles Convention Center. If you missed out, don't worry. You still have an opportunity to win tickets tomorrow and Friday right here on the Chris and Amy Show. We are on from 10 until 1 every single day during the weekday. So here you go. The person who does not like the NFL says it is overvalued has weighed back in via text message 314-436-7900. Why do you all care about pro sports so much? We can redefine our economy overnight if we direct our energy to things that are more valuable to society than pro sports. Domestic violence increases 10% on NFL game days, and football culture is oppressive. Stop relying on pro sports to give a city economic power and identity. Pro sports is a scam.
Well, thank you for texting in. I have to disagree with that, though I know probably the domestic violence thing is true, which is awful. But when we're talking about a city and we're talking about economies,
I don't know that number, and I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I'm going to need some
Proof.
correlation evidence.
I would
on
like
that.
some proof, yes. But when you're talking about the economy in a city, no, pro sports is one of the most valuable things to a city, not just adding relevance and eyeballs, which is money, but actually adding actual money and tourism and restaurants and businesses and residents because people want to live there because there's a lot to do. And here's the thing, historically speaking, you can go back all the way to the ancient Egyptians and you look at the biggest buildings in every civilization from the times before Christ to now, and you can identify what those societies and culture value and into what they poured their money and their time and their interest, which is why the Egyptians were obsessed with the afterlife, which is why you saw the pyramids. And obviously the Roman Catholic Church during the time of the Holy Roman Empire, the largest buildings were these cathedrals. And you can look at our country today, and the largest buildings are football stadiums and baseball stadiums because that is where our economic and cultural engine is. It's just a fact.
Well,
billions and billions and billions of dollars, and it's not irrelevant.
Let's say this. Let's say that we wiped the slate clean with the human race, and we start civilization from scratch. I imagine that we would still naturally evolve to some kind of competition, sport, something that is a big deal in the culture. Whatever it could be, it may not look anything like football or soccer or baseball or whatever. But I bet if we started from the very foundation where there was nothing, clean slate, white chalkboard, do whatever you want with it, I bet eventually we would find our way back to some kind of sport spectator thing that everybody is watching.
Well, and also let's just look at the city of St. Louis and what we have to offer, right? The Arch, the free zoo, the museums, all of that. I love Forest Park. Then you have the St. Louis Cardinals, the St. Louis Blues. And you could say, what would you give up before you gave up the St. Louis Cardinals? And those would be incredibly hard decisions. But I'm telling you what, you're going to keep the Cardinals for a long time into that conversation. You have to.
Yeah.
The Cardinals mean so much to our city. And not just economically, but there is a selfhood that comes with certain sports teams. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that sports are a religion or they're the most important thing. I'm not saying it. I am just saying with reality, there is a community and a selfhood and identity that can come with certain teams and their cities.
There's a lot of good.
More
good comes out of sports than doesn't. So, and we can make this argument that anything is bad.
Keeping kids healthy and active. You like the Cardinals. You like baseball. You're going to go out and toss the ball with your dad. Like there are ramifications that filter down to every level of society. I'm not saying it's a panacea that sports heals everything. I'm just saying the benefits of a football team or an MLB team.
The benefits of spectator sport by far better than the cost of it.
Yes.
By far. All right. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. On the Odyssey app, you can go back and listen to the entire show, the interview with Mayor Tashara Jones. It is very good. A lot there in it. So we want you to go back and listen to it. And don't forget, we are broadcasting live Friday from the Billikens Grill on the campus of St. Louis University ahead of their game against Dayton. We'll be there from 10 o'clock until 1. Come down and see us. Coming up next, though, it is the Dave Glover Show. We love you. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. Goodbye. Back tomorrow at 10.
Midday show. If there's any time to screw up, it's the midday show.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt